Yeah, it's pretty
Hammerhead with
intense.
PB.
So we're great PB for Hammerhead 221.14, and it looks good. It's about 17.5 minutes, the gap between Team Donut and Team Caboose. You see, certainly the Loadless gap is about 12 minutes, what it looks like right here. So we're going to see Logic try and chase Surf down here. But as we mentioned, Surf has his FPS counter on his stream, so he's going for PB.
Logic's got an FPS counter too, so might be going for one too.
He's going for world record.
He did just have a marathon run like the last weekend where he almost got world record there. We're not sure because he didn't have his timer running, but it looked like it could have been. So yeah, there's definitely going to be close here. Like there's definitely a lead for Surf now, but Logic can make it up. Very doable.
This is gonna be really interesting because just doing some quick math here, Team Red is ahead by 18 minutes, and their PB difference is about 20. So, Logic pulls it out here pretty strong. We could see maybe a win here.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna come down to who can play more consistently, and maybe even who gets better RNG in some spots. Yeah, you can see Surf on the left side here is going through the one of the skateboarding mini games. There's 2 of these, or actually, if you consider the races, there's 4. But his goal here is he's got to get these lizards for the egg. There's 15, and he also is doing a route so he can go through and pick up all the gems as he makes his way through and gets all the lizards. He's actually going to have to do this minigame twice, once again with a timer after this. So he's kind of spacing it out, so he's going to get half the gems on one egg and then half the gems on the other.
Yeah, a difficult thing that can be difficult for Spyro 3 is with these side areas that you're seeing Surf in right now. They talked about in the Spyro 2 rates how you have the Sparks Finder that can help you find gems. Sometimes that can be kind of difficult with some of these side areas and knowing if you miss gems or whatnot. And sometimes missing one gem in a side area can be very costly for one of the runners.
Yeah, it takes a long time to make your way back there if you do leave without one. It's not ideal. You see Surf's gonna do a trick. Oh no, he crashed. Oh no.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, that's really bad because on the second egg, it's you have to do it without crashing, so he's gonna have to restart the whole thing now. Unfortunately.
We mentioned this earlier when the timer mess up happened with Surf having to reset, but don't worry, that's not going to disadvantage his team at all because it's all done on loadless time, so that real world time doesn't count. It just his contribution to the total team time just started again when he reset. So don't panic, Green Toe. I saw you in chat. All right, so we're seeing Logic going through that first level again, just like we saw before, and Surf trying to get that skateboarding done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of nice that if you were watching Hammerhead clutch out that last run and you missed some of what Surf did at the beginning, Logic's going to get to show all that off for you now.
Yeah. And I don't know if we've mentioned it, but the 117er has actually changed pretty significantly recently because Logic and Cam have took the time to reroute some stuff was outdated. So I believe Logic and Surf are going to be doing pretty much the same route, but there could be some differences. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see since 117 is just such a long, expansive run. There's so much room for just little runner preferences.
Yeah, exactly.
Logic finishing up his first visit to Cloud Spires, and he'll come back and get the rest later. Yeah, it's kind of neat how this is going to work out that, we get to watch Logic clot back here, and eventually at some point in this run, our runners are going to be neck and neck in the same level.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before. It'll be cool that we can see the fight. It's not just an even race, or it's not one that we know someone's going to win. It's really close at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Hammerhead really killed it at Spyro 2. It was a really good run for him.
Yeah, so we're seeing now Surf's going into Seashell. Another, or this is the underwater, first like underwater level. You can see there's a lot of there's a lot of different movement types. They really expanded on like all of the side content. There's a lot of different characters, different movements. So you're seeing he's doing that now. This is one level they're going to revisit, but he's gonna do almost all of it in the first visit. So he's gonna be picking up pretty much all the gems. I think they only leave a handful right at the end.
Yeah, this level can be very daunting and intimidating. I mean, the gems are just everywhere. You can really just seem to miss one red gem somewhere underwater and just move on. And it's kind of tough to backtrack for it until the end.
Yeah, luckily we have Sparks Finder from the start, but that still doesn't help you if you've already missed it. You've gone all the way through the level. You still gotta make your way all the way back. Could be a big time loss. Logic here is going in on Sheila's homeworld. We didn't mention it before when Surf was doing it, but there are the Riptocs that are kind of like, they kind of act as like checkpoints where when one dies, that's what triggers the Billy Goats to move on. So you want to kill them usually as soon as possible before you go collect stuff so that they start moving. And then you can clean up while they're moving to their next location.
Surf here on the left having just a really good seashell so far.
Yeah, he's cleaning things up pretty well. Again, he's going into this side area for Sheila, which he had to do Sheila's own homeworld to unlock before he could do this in the level. This is the one exception. There is a glitch where you can get here early, but it isn't faster in this category. So he did go in the intended way.
This game is very strange in that some things you can do and some things you can't. Like you can get Sheila early here, but you can't get some of the partners early in other areas.
Yeah. That Sheila portal is, I think, the only one that I am aware of that you can actually access from out of bounds, even if you don't have Sheila unlocked. Yeah, Logic going for the slightly safer strat of actually going all the way up and slamming onto the top of the mushrooms. It's very easy.
I am a big fan of that.
Yeah, it's very easy to like slip and not get the thing that Surf is going for, where you bash them on the side. So he's just opting to take the small time loss, do it a little safer.
I mean, to be fair, if you're Logic right now, you're pretty confident that you're gonna be able to catch this time up. So for him, he might just be going for consistency over speed.
Yeah, and that's kind of what's going to matter in this race. Like, whoever can just go without a lot of time loss is who's going to come out on top, really. In a category this long, you got to take being consistent over, every single optimization you can.
Absolutely. And Spyro 3 has its ways. Surf here is just going to wrap up in Seashell Shore, getting this last egg.
He's got a couple more things to do. He's got to get the end of level and then go up for Bluto.
Oh, he's going to do Bluto after the tunnel. Gotcha.
I think he did. I was watching Logic at the moment, but I think he goes after. It is just faster since you have to like swim all the way up there. It's a little faster to do it at the end, so you don't have to swim back down.
It's an interesting routing decision for 117 because I spent a decent amount of time with this where like you can come in, get the bottles and do Bluto, and then come down. You can go in the tunnel and then go up for Bluto. There's lots of ways you can do this room. It's a very interesting room.
Yeah. Also, they mentioned it in Spyro 2, but it's the same. They have the same swimming physics in Spyro 3, so where he kind of drifts and kind of, is not the tightest to control underwater. So the faster you can like get him to where he needs to go, but also controlling him when he's kind of slippery, it's a little difficult. Yeah, sometimes you end up sliding past one of the vases and they just can't get it. Very easy to do.
I have a well actually from a Hammerhead correction to issue. He has informed me that was not a PB because he got a 119, but didn't bother submitting it because it didn't bot out.
Oh,
Oh, come on, that was really hype. Don't
There was.
Don't
I need to give the guys props. I like
ruin
the swag.
Christmas like this.
I like the swag of not submitting until you bop the guy that you want to bop.
Speaking of bad controls, Surf's doing Bluto right now.
yeah, he just finished it. Yeah, that's that. I don't even know what it is. Just like a boat with a rocket launcher on it, kind of.
The tank battle.
Yeah, it's not the best to control, and that is an element of RNG. The way Bluto behaves in that fight is not consistent, so you can lose a decent amount of time to him not behaving the way you want.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of elements of that throughout this run that may not be noticeable, but I mean, just a 5-second faster cycle here and there might really make the difference for one of these guys.
Mm-hmm. So I think now, yep, Surf's just gonna leave. He left a couple gems, like I said. He's gonna warp back later, and they're just convenient to pick up when he comes back in because they're right at the start.
Yeah, since we have to come back and do these Sparks levels, there's just Seashore Shore is just going to be the closest level to the Sparks level, so it just helps to just get them on the way back because you have to warp back here anyway.
Yeah, it's right outside there, so just get the gems later. And then in just a second, we're gonna go into the first Speedway, which the Speedways in this game are they sure are something.
Grade from Spyro 2.
Yeah, that's for sure.
They're just too spread out. It's just
There's too much. So, yeah, so Surf, Logic's gonna go on the right for the really hard jump as well that we mentioned from Surf. Okay, you got it. Yeah, that jump is very tight, and it does save
very
having to,
difficult.
it saves having to go around and go back up the bell tower, so it's a good bit of time save. It's if you miss the jump, it's faster to death abuse and go for it again than it is to just go the intended way, so it does save a good amount of time. Yeah, so Surf, I actually think Surf is the IL record holder on this Speedway in particular, so I think he knows what he's doing. There isn't a separate IL strat that does save a second or two, but way too risky to go for in a full game run like this. So he's 44, a lot better than I get.
That's very good.
Yeah, so all of these Speedways have 3 eggs that you can get from them. The first one you saw is like the time attack, where you used to get a couple of each thing. You saw those return from Spyro 1 and 2. There's a hunter minigame, which you see he's on the he's controlling this ship right now. Yeah, yeah, he missed a couple. You can finish it right there, but he did have to go back for a few. It doesn't take too long.
Oh,
So
this is not looking good for Surf.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, little sketchy, but you got it. And then he's gonna go back in for the race, which is this one's the race of the butterflies. It is a bit of a long one. It's almost 3 minutes. And there's no real shortcuts you can take in this race. You can see there's the rings that you have to go through, and there's like a clear dotted line for you to follow. So all you can really do is optimize the corners as much as you can. Something else to note is that he is sometimes supercharging, but not always. There is a mechanic in this game that's the same as Spyro 1, but for whatever reason, it's different in Spyro 2, where your supercharge builds up. So you start with a slower speed, and then it'll go to like a medium speed and then high speed. So it's usually only worth it to supercharge when you can hold it long enough to get that faster speed.
I was gonna say, I think the rule of thumb is if you can't hit the purple flame, don't go for it.
Surf would know more than I would, so I trust he's doing it right.
We have Logic on the right going for his attempt at the second skateboarding challenge. Now we saw Surf mess this up, so if Logic can just do this nice and clean, he'll gain some time easy here.
Yeah, all he has to do is not wreck, and he'll make up, like, I think it's probably like 30, 40 seconds, maybe even more.
At least, because Surf was on 11 when he wrecked, and that's a good amount of time.
Was he that far in? Yeah, that's a big time loss.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. This skateboard in both is very weird. Like, it can sometimes be very easy to wreck on accident, and sometimes you'll try and crash and it won't let you. It's just
100%.
kind of just does what it wants.
We'll give you our first time check coming out of Mushroom Kingdom? Mushroom Speedway?
Mushroom Kingdom.
That's a split name, surely.
We'll see a lot of a lot of runners see really the weirdest of the skateboard in Enchanted Towers.
Yeah.
Especially in one of the tutorials, there's an easy way you can just crash the skateboard on nothing.
Yep, so Logic finished that with no issues. There was something I forgot to mention, just a little nice little thing, is there's a little tunnel in there, and if you go into the start of the tunnel, where the lizards are, they'll immediately just start running out the back, so you can turn around and get those. It's a nice little trick. But yeah, Logic's he just warps to Cloud Spires because we are running Loadless, so it's a little faster. Just quickly warp back into a level and exit because it puts you closer to where you want to go. Just a little bit. And also, we didn't mention before, Logic is, you see he's talking to Hunter there. He actually talked to Hunter the first time before he went into Cloud Spires, the first level, so like right at the start. And then he just likes to sit there. He'll wait there for you until you come back like 10, 20 minutes, however long it is later. And he's still waiting. Just talk to Hunter again. Nope, Surf taking.
Yeah, Surf's going to be doing his attempt at Molten Crater here. Another level that we're not going to be able to finish all in one go.
Yeah, I believe this is the first one that is mandatory backtracking, correct?
Yeah, because you need Sergeant Bird regardless, and there's no way to get into it early.
And he is the unlockable character for the next homeworld, so that's not possible to get in there until you go to the next homeworld and beat his. So he's just they're gonna get most of the stuff in here because it is kind of like a giant circle that connects at the start, so you can get most of the stuff and then quickly jump over where Bird is when you come back. But
yeah, we're gonna get this strong chest with the key out of the way on the first visit. Oh, Surf, a really interesting collision there.
Yeah,
recovers it really well.
Yeah, the key chest returning from Spyro 1. It's kind of weird that they didn't have it in 2, but brought it back for 3. It's the same deal. He's got the key from somewhere else in the level. He's got to bring it back to where the key chest is at the start. And if you save and quit, you don't keep the key. You have to get it from wherever it was when you come back. So that's why they routed in that you get the key and the key chest in the same visit. Yeah, House brings up a good point. Is a lot of these side areas you get warped to, they are always loaded somewhere else in the level, and you can get to them if you have like level storage. I don't know if they mentioned that later or earlier, but it's just like a flight glitch that you can use, or if you have the flight mod, and you can get over to them, but they don't load anything in really until you have the side character go through the portal.
A lot of them are just empty.
Yeah, so not very useful. Logic's making his way through Seashell, about to go in the Sheila, and Surf is going into the first boss fight, Buzz, which is one of the worst bosses in this
just a terrible boss.
I mean, there's a lot of bad bosses between 2 and 3. Like between Gulp, Ripto, Buzz, Scorch, you know.
All of the bosses in Spyro 1.
I mean, they're bad in a different way. They're just easy.
There's a lot of potential issues that can happen here with, especially with Buzz. Buzz definitely has a tendency to cause issues, so hopefully both runners make it through just fine.
Yeah, you'll see here Surf standing near the edge. Oh, he's gonna go for the Logic thing. Oh, he didn't get it. So you want to stand near the edge to bait Buzz into stopping his roll early. And there's another trick that you can do where if you head bash right in front of him, while you have iframes, he will just stop rolling almost immediately. But it's pretty hard to get the positioning and the timing right. So it also does the quicker thing if you take the damage, but you prefer not to.
Yeah, and you can see that this fight can be very risky. That to make the cycles as fast as possible, the runners are going to be damage abusing on the fire so that they can hit him immediately, which, I mean, you can see Surf has no sparks right now.
Yeah, there was a fodder there, and he's opting to play it risky. He wants the time save.
Oh, he wanted that sheep.
He's not going to be able to get it now. He's going to go into midday with no sparks, but that's not too big of a deal. Made it through the boss without dying. That's pretty good for Buzz. very easy to just get hit in the
Yeah.
lava and take 4 hits instantly and not have to restart the fight.
1 second off from an even 30.
Very close. He's also 100th of a second off an even 30:01. Yeah, Logic doing the tube, not very interesting. You just gotta swim, hit all the Norks. He's then gonna get the end of level egg after he cleans up here, and then he's gonna go do Bluto as well, so we can see if his luck is a little better there. Right, also Surf is gonna go back, like I said, he's gonna clean up Seashell right here. He's just a couple gems that are behind this gate, so you just come, that gate opens once you get the end of level egg, so he's gonna come back and just get those now. And then he's gonna go, oh, if you want to explain that, Zig.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, he's gonna be going out of here and doing crawdad farms now. One thing you're gonna notice, and this is, you know, one of the big goals of 117 is we're gonna want to get the max Sparks power up as quickly as possible, because Sparks being able to break the baskets and vases for you is just too good.
Yeah, the first and the last power ups are the only ones that are useful for us, really. So we're gonna get this one. This Sparks minigame doesn't unlock until you beat the boss of the world you're in. So he beat Buzz and then immediately warps back because it's that important.
Small thing
get this
there,
card.
Surf did change his FPS right now. The Sparks levels operate, they're interesting. Sparks fires like faster on a higher frame rates. So a lot of runners opt to up their frame rate just for the Sparks levels and then bring it back down because they like it on 30 for the jumps when they're playing as Spyro.
He's also
Yeah.
doing this with keyboard and mouse.
Yes, that's also a thing. It's kind of
Yes.
like, it's a lot easier. A lot of people, or I agree, to aim, you know, point and click with the mouse rather than like aim with the controller. So it's not.
Yeah, you
know,
can
it's
see
easier.
at points. He's just flicking the mouse around and spray shotting everywhere.
Yeah, he needs to pick up all these gems, but none of these enemies, you know, have to die. So he's kind of just gonna bait them all out and then go around them as best he can. He's gonna not waste his time killing them. There are a couple enemies that do drop gems, but these little crabs or lobsters, whatever they are, they don't.
Before we get too far into this run, I want to push you guys for a prediction. Which team do you think is going to clutch this out?
It's very close at the moment.
You got to pick one.
It is very close, but I'm gonna pick Donut.
Oh yeah, gonna go against me. I think Logic can take this. I think he can claw it back.
Yeah, I picked Logic's team way back in game one, so I'm sticking with that.
Okay, you know what? I'm a believer here. Come on, Surf.
We'll give you that time check after Logic beats Buzz. We got the first full world complete, and then we'll see how much Logic has managed to run him down.
Yeah, Logic doing the same pathing as Surf. Like I said, there is a faster IL route, but not safe enough for this full game run. So he's gonna do the same thing.
Yeah, what did he say? Surf got a 44. We'll see what Logic gets at the end of his.
44.1, I believe.
Okay.
46.4 is yeah.
Wow, that's a
Significantly better.
difference.
Yeah. Surf knows what he's
You
doing.
can. I was gonna say you can see the mastery of Mushroom Kingdom by Surf.
Unfortunately, 2.5 or 2.3, whatever it was, over the whole run isn't that much of a difference, but you know, shows he can definitely take a little bit of time back on this flight because there's a lot of, you know, the time attack and the races that you do in this run significant.
If they win by 2.3 seconds.
Yeah, you're gonna see Surf switch back. Oh, no, actually, I think he has to get Bianca. Is that not true?
You can work around Bianca, but you have to come back to this area a couple times, and I mean, it's
Yeah,
probably
so-
worth it. But
In any
I know
percent,
you can't get
kinda-
around her though.
Yeah, in any percent, you can jump over Bianca's trigger and like never talk to her. But I know there are 2 vases that are on her trigger, so I'm not sure if you can. break
You
those without
can.
talking
It's
to them?
just kind of a pain.
Yeah. Pretty easy to just talk to her. It's not that long.
One thing I don't, if you were watching the right side of the screen, Logic had almost the fastest sheep UFO cycle you can get. So that
Yeah.
2.3 he lost in the Speedway, he sure made up more than that in the UFOs.
Yeah. Those UFOs, can you lose you a lot of time even if you don't fail them, and then it's pretty easy to get shot if you miss one. Their sheep are kind of lasers with their whatever energy shot they have. Yeah, Surf on the cannon here in Icy. These birds are very hard to snipe out of the sky. It takes a lot. Yeah.
You can see him wiggling there.
Yeah, you gotta kind of, shoot a little bit in front of them so they go into it, but they're so small and it's so hard to aim the cannon precisely, and not always easy to get those shots. And there's a lot of birds in this level and a few others that you have to hit, so can lose a lot of time to that.
Worse version of this later in Lost Fleet.
Oh yeah. You have to account for bullet drop and the projectile speed, and then the cannonballs also just arc, so it's like a nightmare.
You're also in Lost Fleet, so you're depressed.
Yeah. Logic leaving. I believe he's about 2 minutes ahead of where Surf was at this point, so he's already catching up some time. Making it back.
Yeah, I'll be really curious to see where he is coming out of Buzz. He seems to be flying right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Logic's jam.
This is his category, so if anyone's feeling, it's gonna be him. Gonna get on the cannon. There's a couple of cannons in this level. There's, I think, 3 or 4, something like that. But there's always ice walls to break and birds to share this guy. And you can see this bird being... Oh, there, he got him. That was actually pretty quick. Oh, he forgot one of the walls. Gotta go back.
They're small mistakes, but these mistakes might be just enough adding up.
Mm-hmm. One thing to also note is I don't know if they explained it. They probably did explain it in Spyro World War II, but there are dead gems, we call them, where Sparks just doesn't register that they're there, so he won't pick them up, or he'll pick them up only if you're really close. And there's a couple of those.
Yeah.
And you see that too on the left from Surf. He just had to go back for because Sparks doesn't like it.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it in the other runs, but yeah, you're right. There are some gems where whether it's invisible walls or little bits of scenery in front of them and on the ground that just mean he doesn't do it, or just he isn't feeling like it.
Yeah.
The one that comes to mind is always the one after coming out of Ice Cavern in Peacekeepers. The first red gem.
Yes.
There's a tiny little rock in front of it, and Sparks is like, "Oh, can't get it."
There's actually not a tiny little rock. There's a giant piece of invisible collision. So
Man, these birds are bullying Surf today.
yeah. I've seen Logic get these. He's pretty good with them, so he might be able to pick up a lot of time here.
It is very difficult to do. I can't stress that enough. Those birds are not easy to hit. It takes practice to get them really well.
Logic on his way into Buzz now, so we're gonna see in just a minute how he's doing compared to where Surf was. We're gonna see Surf went for, it's almost, I think we just call it the Logic strat because he's the one that kind of workshopped it until it finally worked, I guess. But yeah, Surf I think went for it once and then he didn't get it, so he didn't go for it again. But I believe Logic's very consistent and will go for it on every hit. Kind of explain how it works when we get to it.
So far, so good on these boss cutscenes. Boss cutscenes in this game sometimes glitch out and are unable to be skipped. So far, we're having pretty good luck. Hopefully, other team runs into that.
I forgot about that, yeah. My theory is still that if you menu too fast, it happens, but nobody believes me, so. At least Logic doesn't. So we're gonna see, I think Logic's gonna line up. Yeah, he's gonna line up here, and he's gonna go for the head bash as Buzz is coming back. Yeah. So you see, Yeah, he's gonna roll straight to his like stopping point and save as much time. He also didn't take any damage on that. The damage in the fire is intentional. I don't know if we mentioned that during Surf's fight, but you do want to jump into the fire to get rid of it as quickly as possible. Surf finishing with the Nancy auto scroller. Very uneventful.
Yeah, Logic's in a boss fight while Surf is doing some ice dancing. Welcome to Spyro 3.
Yep.
Just more instances of Spyro where you have to pay to do some of the worst levels in mini games.
Yeah. Gotta pay 700 gems to do cat hockey later on. That's a lose-lose.
Hey, that's a good one. No, that's a good one.
We
Surf
said
did
that
a
Surf...
nice wall glide there.
Oh yeah, I should have mentioned that.
All right, let me
Just
give you a
little-
time check. 3 minutes
Wow.
and 40 seconds?
I think it was.
Maybe
I think we
2
said it was
minutes.
30:01, right?
30:01,
maybe
yeah,
2 minutes.
30:01.
So
th-
2
sorry,
minutes 36 seconds.
2 minutes
Yeah,
30. Sorry, my
that's-
bad. 31.
That's a
2
lot.
minutes,
Yeah.
2 minutes
In
30.
the first home roll.
Yeah, so
There-
2 minutes 30 already. We're
Mhm.
ostensibly like 1/6 through the game. So again, if that pace keeps up, he's gonna take 12. He's gonna take 18 minutes. The gap was 17.
Yeah.
This is gonna come down to the wire.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close.
Yeah. You have to be feeling good for Logic though. That was a really solid Sunrise Spring.
Mhm. Also to note, we do a lot more backtracking in this run than we do in 1 or 2 by a lot. So being done with the first homeworld doesn't mean we're a quarter of the way done, even though there's 4 homeworlds where you have a lot more to go.
A lot of run left.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, as I mentioned it before, since the name of the game is getting that, getting the Sparks power-ups as quickly as possible, you want to try and save a lot of your backtracking if you can until after that, because you can move a lot faster through the levels.
Yeah, I don't know if we actually explained it, but the Sparks power up you get the first time is actually extended Sparks. So you'll notice that they have like Sparks will pick up gems from a lot farther than you would have before. And then the very last power up is Sparks will actually break vases and baskets for you automatically and collect the gems. So the Sparks upgrades aren't particularly good in between. So we're just gonna like get the first power up as soon as we beat Buzz, and then we're gonna book it, get 100 eggs as fast as possible. Because once you beat Sorceress, which is 100 eggs, that's when you unlock the last Sparks level to get that upgrade. So the route kind of revolves around how little can you do while getting to that upgrade, so that you can have the best Sparks to get everything later on.
Back to things that control badly. Surf's going into Sergeant Bird.
Yep.
Who's your favorite and least favorite side character in Spyro 3?
I gotta say, my favorite has to be Agent 9 by far. And
Ooh.
then, yeah,
That's controversial.
I know.
Yeah,
a lot of
it
people don't
is.
agree. A lot of people don't agree with me. At least in Reignited. I don't know about OG, but in Reignited, I'd say it. And then it's kind of a toss-up for which one's worse for me between the other three, to be honest. Probably say Bird.
Yeah,
Zach?
I'm not a fan of Bird's probably my least favorite.
Yeah.
I almost want to go Sheila as my favorite.
Oh.
I mean, I'm a Spyro purist, so I don't like any of them.
I mean, I agree.
Wait, hold on, that was an answer?
It's my
Yeah, I give
question.
them all.
I get to decide.
I give them all 0 out of 10. That's
Yeah.
Surf making his way. He's gonna do. He's also gonna backtrack through this level, not backtrack to it, but backtrack through it, because there are these hummingbirds in cages that you need to free to get one of the eggs, and one of them is near the start in like a hidden area that you need one of the bombs from the end of the level to get. So he's gonna pick up like half the stuff on the way through, and then get the other half on the way back.
Sergeant Bird's base is a very rough level. I have complaints about the design of this level. But
It is.
one of these runners forgets something at the end, and then they finish all this backtracking. They're gonna have to do a lot to go back and get that gem.
Yeah, it could
Personally,
be.
I think at the start of the level, there's all this glass windows. I think they should open up once you beat the level, so backtracking isn't an actual nightmare. But that's just me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's a good idea.
Side characters are all the wrong color as well for this purpose, so get them out.
Yeah, CC Surf's got one of the like rocket bombs that you can drop straight down. He's gonna use that to get a couple things here. And Surf just coming in the, or not Surf, sorry. Logic is coming into midday now after getting the Sparks upgrade, so you're gonna see he has the big boy Sparks now. They can pick up a lot more.
Looks like he has left his FPS high at the moment. I'm curious when he decides to switch that back.
I think he actually switches it right around this corner, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, right now. So he goes right before he goes into the IC. Again, they probably mentioned it in Spyro 2 or 1, but the lower your FPS, the higher you jump. So that's the reason they like to switch back to 30. It makes the jumps a lot easier than they would be otherwise. And then, like we said, Sparks levels are better on higher FPS. There's a lot of switching in this run. You don't really see that in the other two.
So Logic here, starting IC Peak, we'll see if he has, this is where he could gain a ton of time if he can get these birds, and this one's evading him.
Yeah. Not the best start, but we can see. Also, a nice skip to note is Logic was able to like glide over the ice right there and then hover and head bash it instead of going up to like a secret intended area that you were supposed to be able to head bash it from. Let you get in the water a little early.
Yeah, as a Spyro 2, Spyro 3 also has that hover mechanic, and it just opens up just a world of possibilities of skips you can do throughout these levels.
Yeah. Spyro 1 has a lot of, you do this like in a way that's unintended, but the devs like, sure, that we'd allow that, and then you get to these games and it's like, no, they never expected any of this. See, I think, yep, Surf got the last hummingbird there. I don't know if he ends here. Yeah, he does. Okay. Didn't miss anything. Luckily, he didn't have to go all the way back through the level.
Yep, thank God. Yeah, it's just a sigh of relief when you see 500 out of 500 right there.
Speaking of, this game has a lot more gems than the other two. Like, you're going to see, once you get to the last homeworld, there's going to be 700 gems in some levels, even. So it's quite a bit more than we saw in the other two games. A lot of high-value gems all over the place. Ooh, Logic missing that snipe on the first bird, but just a little bit. Oh, and he's so confident on that the second one. He just jumped out the cannon. He knows.
See if Surf. Oh. I was gonna say we'll see if Surf goes for a fly and skip on Spooky Swamp.
Yeah, he went
Maybe for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's at the start of Spooky Swamp, there is a Hold on, sorry.
I'll finish what he was saying. Yeah, at the start of Spooky Swamp, for some reason the level loads in, but the game kind of just like the screen remains black for a while. So it's actually faster to either fly and skip or quit game as soon as the level loads, and then when you reload, the level will just be there immediately.
Yeah, it's the only level that does that. I'm not sure why. I'm not even sure if that's intentional or not, to be honest.
It's so weird because like while the screen is black, like you can, if you charge, you can hear Spyro running and stuff, but you don't go anywhere.
I feel like they might have done it to add the spooky effect to Spooky Swamp, but I'm not sure. Yeah, we see Logic going through. He's doing the ice skating auto scroller now. There's not much to this. You just kind of flame the Rhinox as they come out.
Exciting gameplay.
Yep. You see Surf here. Oh, go ahead.
I think we're about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
One of the things in Spooky Swamp is that there's a point where they want you to pay money bags to open up the rest of the level, but through the movement that you'll see the runners doing here, we're gonna avoid that payment entirely.
Yeah, unlike all the water in any other level, this water isn't actually like insta damage. It's like regular water, but then there are piranhas that will come out and attack you. So if you can just kind of like skip over the water quickly before they actually get you, you don't take any damage. So you can kind of get around that door and not have to pay for it. Not that paying for it would be an issue in this category since we were getting all the gems, but it's just a little faster.
Yeah. Spooky Swamp also is home to most people's favorite egg challenge. The escort the bomb guys.
Oh, I love that one. Favorite. I don't know if he's gonna do. I don't know which one's first, Sleepyhead or that. So we'll have to see.
I believe you do Sleepyhead first.
That would make sense. Yeah, we also skipped over it on Surf side, but look, Logic right now, he's gonna slow down against this wall so that he can get into this. To get that, there was a metal chest behind there. Yeah, you couldn't really see it, but there is a strong chest there that you have to supercharge. So by slowing down against the wall, he was able to go in like the opposite way of where you're really supposed to. And then he's able to get the thief because again, he's going backwards, so the thief goes right into him. Pretty slick. And yep, Surf going straight into Sleepyhead first. Yeah, Logic looking a little weak on the snipes today. I think it's still a little better than Surf, but I've seen him do better.
Yeah, I definitely think he still gained a good amount of time on those birds.
Probably.
Surf doing this cool strat of charging forward and bonking into Sleepyhead when he tries to summon the
Ooh.
crocodiles. And yeah, that was interesting.
It's pretty significant time loss having to do another cycle. Yeah, normally Sleepyhead goes to summon these like crocodile things that come and attack you, but if you bonk into him to like it looks like you take damage, but you don't actually. Yeah, if you do that, he will then just kind of skip that phase and start throwing a bomb. Save just a bit of time. Oh, he did it again.
Losing a lot of time here on Sleepyhead, it seems. Not where I think you expect to lose time in the run.
Yeah, this is not one of the the tough bosses usually.
You can see him really hesitate and wait there.
I would too after that. Yep, and then he's gonna go into the best minigame in this game. Everyone's favorite. Oh, House just said there you can do quicker bombs, so it looks like he might have been trying to go for a fast strat. I wasn't aware of. He might just messed it up, unfortunately.
I mean, this is kind of going back to what we talked about at the beginning of the run, where I feel like if you're Surf and you know that you have to put forth your best, you're going to go for all the risky strats you can, whereas Logic knows he just has to play consistently. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Surf going for as many harder, risky strats he can.
And you see the Logic going through. It's kind of the same thing as Sheila that I mentioned, where there's like a key enemy almost that like keeps whatever you're escorting from progressing. So he's gonna kill all of these enemies just to get because he needs their gems for later on. But there is one specific enemy where once it dies, then the hummingbird moves on and you can start progressing through the level. She'll follow you and you can complete it.
One of the nice things that they changed in Reignited is that these rocks don't respawn between the escort missions on Surf side.
Yes.
So he did a lot of destroying of some of the rocks on the first pass while he had the time, so that he could collect gems and stuff this time without worrying about the rocks.
Yeah, now he's gonna go much farther out of his way to get stuff that he didn't have the time to before. Also, a little note: he's able to do the like side stomp thing that he did on the mushroom houses in the first Sheila level on these little mushrooms here, so you don't have to do like the double jump and then slam on top. Save a little bit of time. These could probably be much riskier because if you miss that and you don't do it fast enough, you lose however long it takes for the Firefly to go all the way back
that
through.
could be a lot.
Nice, no failed Fireflies today. For Surf at least. We'll have to wait for Logic.
Unfortunately, you can't get everything during the second mission, so you do have to go back and get these last few gems before he'll exit the area.
Yeah, you can see Logic here. You can kind of, once you have the bomb in Bird's feet, you can kind of just like slide along the ground. It makes picking up some of these gems a little easier. Gives you a little bit tighter range, like a little more range of movement rather than Bird's kind of walking animation. He also needs these bombs because he's going to go back and see in just a second blow a hole in the floor to get one of these hidden hummingbirds.
Yeah, anything you can do to make Bird control a little bit better is fantastic.
Yeah.
Surf
Wait,
on the
it's
left
Surf.
here. Yep.
Aw,
Going for a...
didn't go for the cool strat. Unfortunate.
We'll see if Logic can go for it later.
I hope so. Yep, gonna just clean up. You gotta shoot those potted plants to get that egg. He did do a faster strat where if you shoot a fireball at the last planter and then get the one egg that's out in the open, you'll then be warped out of the one egg cutscene into the other one once it finishes. So you save a little time doing that. And there is a little faster way to do it that Logic, I believe, does go for. So we'll see that in a minute. Or just a little bit, I should say. Also, Surf now in Bamboo. This is the first level with the question mark vase. If you want to explain how that works, Zik.
Yeah, we saw it a bit during the last race in Spyro 2 that the mystery bottles that kind of start at the end of the level, and as you hit them, they make more, and they'll make their way towards the beginning of the level. Now, for Bamboo, we're going to be holding off on doing it. We have to backtrack for Bamboo because we need, as like in the last area, we need the partner from the next area to finish this level. So they're just going to get the bare minimum here and then exit out.
Yeah, Bentley's portal's conveniently also located like right next to the vase at the end of the level, so they can come back and get all, like, kind of do the level backwards on the revisit to get everything. Logic now in Spooky Swamp. Those candles, I don't think we mentioned it when Surf was here, but you have to light all, there's like 4 candles in the little huts around the level, and you have to light all 4 to opens the boss door to Sleepyhead, so he's gonna do that while he's going through. Oh, and cool trick. Yep. Nice little thing Surf's gonna go for. He was able to shoot the target into Enchanted Towers with the fireball power up. Normally you wanna get a rock from Hunter that he throws out and like spit it into the target, but you have just enough time with the fireball to shoot it instead of waiting for Hunter, like talking to him and having him throw you the rock.
This boss level coming up for Logic, that's another opportunity for him to make up some time, right?
Yes, definitely.
For sure. Surf here are going to be in Enchanted Towers. This can be a very difficult level. There's a good amount of difficult jumps they'll be doing here, especially right off the start. After he cleans up some of these initial enemies, he's going to be trying to do some interesting stuff here.
Yeah, he's about to do a jump right here to get towards the end of the level a little bit faster. Definitely not the intended way to go. It's a little harder than I think they would make you do it.
Yeah, jumps like that are why these runs are going to be staying on 30 FPS after their Sparks levels, because those can be very difficult to do on higher frame rates.
Yeah, that jump specifically is nearly impossible on like 60. Very, very hard.
Yeah, this will get Surf to the end of the level because you need to. There's a lot of portions of this level that need to be done with Sergeant Bird, so gonna save basically a lot of the gems for when you're playing as Bird and have to backtrack anyways.
Yeah, all those dragons you see flying around have gems themselves. So you want to either a bunch of them that you have to have Bird to like shoot out of the sky. So there's also the famous bone dance egg that you need for too. The much loved.
We're seeing Logic here on the right. He seems to be taking these. He's doing the damage abuse strat that Surf did, but he seems to be taking the bombs very safe and carefully, which is probably a good call.
Yeah, I don't know if he saw what happened to Surf if he has the stream open, but maybe he knows from experience that can happen and go bad for you pretty quickly. Yeah, he took a lot of time to line that one up.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely save time there.
Yeah, for sure.
You can even just visually see the time that Logic is catching up right now. I mean, they're starting to get pretty close together.
Yeah, he's 2 levels, right? 2 behind
Yeah.
right now. And then one of them was Bamboo, which we said we skip almost all of. So really like a level-ish behind. So catching up, keeping the difference.
We'll track
Surf's gonna be doing these.
Go ahead.
Sorry for interrupting you. Surf's gonna be doing the skateboarding challenge right now against Hunter, and while normally you only have to get so many points, and then you can just quit and beat Hunter, it's a good opportunity to collect all the gems around this area. So he's kind of gonna take his time doing tricks to get his score up while getting gems.
Yeah, once you get enough points, you can just quit to end the minigame, and if you have enough, you'll win. And it also warps you back to Hunter. So it's a nice time to get all the gems and then quit, so you get warped back so you can clean up what you need to.
I was just going to say, we'll time Surf coming out of this level, and then we'll get another time check and see how much that gap is closing.
I believe
Yeah,
Spike's right after Enchanted, so if you want to wait and then we can do the bosses.
Yeah, let's do that. I've never completed this game. I don't know. You guys get me right. The level that Logic is doing now, this egg challenge, is the reason I gave up on ever completing this game.
Yeah. Not the greatest casually. It's a little bit. It's better on when you're running it because once you know the route the fireflies go, then it's not too bad, but it can still be very frustrating.
I don't know if you just saw on Surf screen. It was a little weird. He failed the first hover to the final gems in the area, and then the second time he made it up, but he still got like the sliding
flop animation. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that. No.
Yeah, he got the flop animation in the middle of the platform. Very odd.
I guess, yeah, that surface that because a lot of the ramps have like a sliding surface, you can't just cheese them and go up them. So I guess he just barely touched it. Luckily, he didn't fall though the second time. Surf's doing, I think his name's Farley, right? The dog.
It is Farley.
Yep, Farley and George are best friends.
Look at this. We have 2 escort missions going on at the same time. What more could you ask for?
That's why we love Spyro 3.
Good side quests.
Farley's a bit more interesting and less frustrating. You get to play catch with the boy.
Can we rename him
Just
Cletus?
run around in circles.
I would not be surprised if you had a dog named Cletus.
God, I wish.
I don't know if you guys were here earlier when I said that my cats are called Sparks and Allura.
Yeah, I've heard you say that. It's good names. Yep, so Surf, I believe he's going to jump down, to clean up just a couple of gems he missed, and then he's going to get warped up once Farley gets back to the end of where he needs to be. Save a little bit of time on movement.
This is another level where missing gems can actually be pretty costly because since you have to switch back and forth between Bird and Spyro, say Surfer gets a gem in the Farley area, he has to fly. You can't go in there as Bird. He has to fly back, switch back to Spyro, and go back in there. So you have to be really careful in these levels to make sure you're getting everything.
Yeah, a little trick you might have missed Surf do actually is when he got to the end of like that side area, he used Sparks to like search for gems, and Sparks pointed at the portal to leave, so that just like signifies that there aren't any left in that side area, and he was good to leave. So he knows now that he didn't miss anything there.
Ooh, Logic having some issues on this hover here.
Okay, there he goes.
Yeah, we're talking about it all the way through this run, that this is a case of Logic, who is the world record holder in this category, chasing down Surf. He has 20 minutes extra in his PvE over Surf. You know, he also has he's in second place on the any percent leaderboard as well. So no one we've seen running today owns a game like Logic owns Spyro 3.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to, it looked like right now he's going to leave and go straight into Enchanted, so he's going to be in the same level. I mean, he's going to be entering Enchanted as Surf's leaving it, so he's already catching up. He's making very good time.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't 20 minutes ago we were seeing Logic do the plant pots and stuff, seeing Surf do the plant pots and stuff, so.
Yeah, definitely not. So he's got some time ahead. He's definitely gained on that 2.5 minutes he had before, way more now.
Yeah, we will definitely see at least visually see the lead shift here in Evening Lake.
Yeah. Also gonna see
Like
Bow
better-
dance. Do we get to see? Oh,
they
skipped the
I
cutscene.
didn't choose the bow dance.
He skipped the cutscene.
Damn. Does it floss in Spyro 3 as well?
I think so. I believe he does. Surf's playing the
Yeah.
win right now. No fun in games anymore.
Okay, so this is him into the next boss level, right?
Yes, he's going into Surf. So, or he's going in Spike. I mean, sorry. So Logic is exactly.
He's going into Surf.
Surf is going into Surf right now.
His greatest enemy is himself, or something.
Yeah. Spike
All right.
is
Time it.
yeah. Spike is the easiest and by far the most consistent boss in this game. So he shouldn't have much problems with this.
Once you make it past the first 2 rocks.
Yeah. I like to call it being Randy Rock because Randy is known for having
Oh
the other.
no!
Okay, he got a good second one though. Yeah, you get 2 rocks and then you get 2 fire power-ups and then 2 like projectile power-ups, and these 2 rocks can land anywhere in the arena. So if they land like on the other side of Spike, he'll go and crush them, and you just have to wait for another one, and that's really frustrating. But other than that, it's not that big of a time loss, and everything else should be fairly easy. Yeah, no more purple orb storage in this run, unfortunately. Oops, Surf did take a hit, but he didn't lose the power up, so. Oh, and he's sparkless now. This should be fine, but a little riskier than you want it to be.
Got a chicken right at the end as well there.
The emergency.
For the cutscene.
Yep. He's also gonna try for early whirly, and I think he got it.
Early
Oh.
he-
Oh
no!
Oh no.
I mean,
I've never seen that before.
Oh no!
Oh wait, no, he's going to the whirly. Is he?
What is happening?
What?
This is the best thing I've ever seen.
I've never seen that before either.
And that definitely like looked like a soft lock, right? When he was rolling on the top of the boundary wall.
Yeah. So what he was trying to do is if you get into the spot where the whirly, which you can't see now, but it's like the thing that takes you to the next world. If you get to where it spawns as the fight's ending, you don't have to walk over to it. You just like immediately take off from it. But whenever to step in there.
It looks like everything's fine because I was having flashbacks to getting the fly and skip wrong in Spyro 1 and you just fall through the world.
He even turned around to make sure the Whirly was there. Yeah. Oh my logic. Oh my god. Got hit by Hunter too. And then crashed. Oh no.
Oh.
Everything's
Spyro 3 is really showing its colors now.
Yeah, I guess.
That's a real highlight, seeing Surf get that glitch that no one's ever seen before. Chat enjoyed it, so there you go.
Logic just crashed on thin air.
Yep.
SRT3 isn't the most structurally sound game you'll find.
Yeah. And then that second time he crashed on purpose because he also wanted to hover up to there.
Isn't that the theory, right? That they spent so much time making Spyro 1 SRT that they had less time to spend on 2 and then even less on 3?
I mean, if that's true, then they didn't have any time for anything, I guess.
Okay, so Surf got out of Spike 105.38. That's with the respawn.
Yeah, and it looks like Logic is on pace to beat that by a significant amount. He's going into Farley now, and Surf is entering the first level in Evening Lake, Charmed Ridge. This is one of, I think, the harder levels in any percent. Now, I'd imagine 117 as well.
It's a very difficult level.
A lot of difficult movement. A lot of you gotta fireball power up that you have to work with. You don't have a lot of time. A couple of precise things. Oh no! Oh, Surf fell. I think he's gonna take the death abuse. Okay, he just got an egg right up there, so he's gonna die here and then immediately get respawned up there. So it's not
a smart decision.
Clock District, thank you for the clip.
Also, I don't think we ever mentioned it at the start, but there is like egg movement. I think we call it. I don't know if it has an actual name. Yeah,
I think that's the best name we have.
That's probably the best. So when you, I mean, Zach, if you want to explain that, you probably know better than I do.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but when you get eggs in this game, the camera acts differently. So like Spyro's direction is whatever, like if he's facing the egg, that is forward, no matter what your camera is. So sometimes your camera might be facing backwards, but you have to press the opposite direction to move Spyro where you want to go. So a lot of the times the runner's going to be trying to optimize their movement coming out of those eggs by holding a certain direction.
Yeah, you can also, I believe, hit triangle twice to like zoom in and out, and then that will fix it. But a lot of times that'll lose you time over just knowing how to do the movement, with the like messed up controls. So, and it's different for every egg. So a lot of it you have to know for each individual egg.
Yeah, it's based on whatever direction the camera is, and it's all weird. So over here on Surf's side, this is a really interesting kind of glitch that he's going to be doing here, where there's two parts to this bean minigame. He skipped the first part, and he's just coming straight to the end, triggering the end one, and then going back and triggering the first one. And this, if you just watch on the left side, this is going to cause the game to freak out a little bit.
That might even be a bit of an understatement. Oh, there it goes. Yep. So because he walked through the trigger at the end, the game marked it as complete. So when he got to the first trigger, because there's two separate places where you get eggs, there's a checkpoint in the middle. So he did this. He triggered the second one and then the first one. So played the first and then the second. So kind of tried to walk him, path him over to where he was supposed to be. But since he was way below, it put him in a different spot, which actually got him closer to the headbash chest a little earlier. So save a little time doing that, and it looks funny. Yeah, Logic cleaning up Enchanted. He's about to finish right here. We'll get to see if he watches the Bone Dance cutscene. No.
Disappointing.
I can't be too upset. He's just trying to make up for my mistakes. He's got to... Yeah, you can see Enchanted was a long level. Surf was able to finish Enchanted, do the spike fight, and now he's halfway through Charmed as Logic is now leaving.
Yeah, it's just the nature of having to do all that backtracking with Bird and Farley. It's just got so much slow stuff.
Yeah.
Surf showing off this wonderful auto aim the game gives you for Sergeant Bird, where you don't even have to move for some of these.
Yeah. It's wonderful and horrible at the same time, where almost all of the time it'll just lock on and you can just keep shooting, and then sometimes it just will not, and you have to go chase them down. So, a blessing and a curse. Oh no, looks like we got Logic's timer fixed, and then we messed up Surf's.
Well, Surfs at least I can get from his stream. Logic, we're totally reliant on the mainstream because it's just going straight to the mainstream.
Yeah, at least we can at least read it. It's good. We're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this last stage of the wizard, or witches, I guess they are on the broomsticks. There's like the floor that kills you, so you kind of have to flap and do the same thing, but it still works. And then if you remember the mystery vase from Bamboo Terrace that we skipped, there's one in here in Charmed Ridge that Surf's doing. And that's why he kind of like, skipped through half the level, or he just kind of like went through the level quickly, because he's going to have to now backtrack through it to get the question mark base at all the locations.
All right, Logic's time 59:28, so he's 5 minutes and 10 seconds ahead. No,
Okay.
6 minutes 10 seconds.
Okay. Yeah, so that's about what they're about a third of the way through the run, and he's made up a third of the time he needs to about.
Yeah.
So it's still very close. Still.
So
about
again, if he continues this pace, he's going to make up about 18 and a half minutes. The gap was 17, so that would be enough for Logic to win the race.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna get really down to the wire there at the end. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah. Which I have no
fully
bias in this race. I hope the best runner wins. No bias whatsoever.
We will try and get Surf's timer and stream sorted a little bit, but it's a little bit difficult because it's Logic who's doing it, so he's also running at the same time. So we beg your patience.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there we go. See, perfect. Logic, the king.
He knew we were talking about it. He's working on it. And nice Surf to not miss any gems. This run could come down to either of them missing a gem in a level because it's such a big time loss. It could be decided just on that.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking like it's going to come down to like a minute. It's going to be, and considering this is an 8-hour race, pretty much.
Yeah.
Come down to
Yeah, it'll be really cool to see.
Very.
Just like a single minute is going to be absolutely insane. This is going to be really. If Logic does win this, yeah, Clock is absolutely right in the chat. If Logic does win this, it's going to be really close. And like we've been saying all along, comparing these guys' PB pace is their best ever run of hundreds and hundreds of attempts. This is a one chance resetless. You have to do the best you can in a single race, and we saw that with Hammerhead in the last run with that sunny beach. We were saying, T-Bone was saying he would have reset halfway through those attempts 100%
But
of the time.
He was still able to pull it back in the end and almost PB. If we saw now, it's not a real PB, but he's very close.
It's a PB in my heart.
And get really quite good pace, in terms of how we were comparing them together. So everyone's really brought their A game to get today. Well, I don't know, maybe A- game for that.
I'd say a little worse. I was gonna say that Green's PB might be 2 minutes slower than mine, but he still beat me. So anyone can take anything in this game. It's how well you're playing on the day.
We're gonna see that from Surf and Logic here. It is gonna be really interesting. You guys are seeing, you're seeing Logic get visibly closer, and then when we time check it, it's a couple of minutes ahead. It's just gonna be a slow, inevitable chase.
Yeah,
down.
we also didn't mention it when Surf was here. Sorry, but Logic is doing he's doing a couple of like precise bounces on the mushrooms to get through this minigame a little faster. If you bounce on one and then like do a little charge in the air, it lets you glide a little earlier, so you're able to skip having to do the puzzles as intended, and you can just kind of, do one bean per section or like area.
And something to keep in mind as we're watching this is like kind of just keep in mind how Surf had a little bit of a timer mishap at the start. So like while Loadless it all is perfectly fine, you may see Logic visibly catch ahead in real time, but that might not actually reflect how close they actually are.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And we'll keep doing the time checks every sort of 30 minutes or so, I think, during this to keep you guys updated on the gap and make sure you know who's going to win, and you can cheer for your favorite team. It's great to see so many people hitting those stream rewards for Team Donut and Team Caboose. A lot of Team Donut love in the chat right now.
Telling you, Donut's taking it.
Well, you're on Team Donut. Me and Kat are on Team Caboose, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, chat, get spamming those stream rewards. Make sure
I don't know,
people know what we stand for.
I could be swayed to Team Donut.
Really? Come on, Kat.
They're starting to pull me in. But
You
yeah,
gotta back your team.
yes, Surf is on the second of the 4 speedways. Like we said, not very eventful. This is the race in particular. You just kind of go around in circles.
See, Logic is on those witches now. Like that was really not that long ago we were seeing Surf do this.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we see Logic overtake Surf pretty soon.
I think Cat tried to switch teams as soon as he got the first game over.
Was that maybe that's what the run was all about?
Yeah. I was throwing for content.
Exactly.
Will we get a beautiful moment maybe in Harbor? We get both runners doing a race at the same time?
Maybe.
That'd be pretty great.
I think that's a little optimistic, but it would be great to see.
Yeah, I mean, this is like at some point, if he's gonna win, Logic has to overtake Surf.
Yeah.
He has to be ahead at some point.
Pretty soon too, because Surf's coming up on nearly the halfway point. We got a little bit more, but he's getting close. Surf's still about a third of the way in, so
We're about 20 minutes away from halfway if Surf's on kind of regular PB pace.
yeah,
Or his PB pace. So,
15-20 minutes about. So
yeah, Logic's going to have to overtake, and then it's going to be about, the moment we're telling you how much Logic is catching to Surf, then it's going to be about how much can Logic stretch that lead, because he's got, as we said, a 17-minute deficit to overcome.
yeah, I have a
Now-
feeling Lost Fleet. Oh, go ahead.
You're kind of talking about the level. I was gonna say, what I'm interested to see, Surf is notorious for getting an extra lap in the Lost Fleet skateboarding race.
Yeah, you hate to see it. I was gonna say Lost Fleet might. I have a feeling that Lost Fleet might shift up its position a little bit. Like Logic might get a bigger lead, or maybe Surf could pull ahead a little more, because Lost Fleet is notoriously has a lot of difficult egg challenges that take a long time, and you lose a lot of time if you don't do well. So, and the level itself isn't easy either.
I mean, I will say, even up to the end when we get to super bonus round, I mean, this is nobody's race until the very end.
I do actually think that Logic said earlier that if Surf gets the extra lap glitch, then he's gonna take an extra lap as a good sport. I believe he did say that. But hopefully we just don't have any issues and we can all finish the race the way it's supposed to be done.
You're asking a tall order of Spyro Reignited trilogy.
I know.
In Spyro, we were talking about in Spyro 2 how there's so much going on in those levels. I feel like that's kind of on steroids in Spyro 3. There's a certain extent to where you're like, I don't know what drugs they were on when they were making the levels for Spyro 3, because there's portals within portals and there's side character levels within levels, and certainly my experience of casually playing Spyro 3, it's really easy to get lost.
Yeah, that is very true.
And
It's like
we talked about how linear Spyro 1 is. This is really not linear.
You have Spyro 1 with like no mini games, no side characters. It's all just like movement and picking up gems. Then you have Spyro 2, which gets a little bit into the mini games, but a lot of them you're still controlling Spyro 4. But then you go into Spyro 3 and there's all these different vehicles and characters and mini games. It gets kind of crazy.
We'll see if Surf can get his revenge on the birds as he gets another shot at shooting them with cannons.
Yeah, these are much worse, I think, than Icy to get to, so we'll see how long it takes.
So now Logic's in that honey fight level. Flame
How
and
do you
some
do that?
bees.
Yeah, he's on the first of the 3 eggs that you get, so still about a level behind where Surf is. The levels all aren't all the same time, so that's not always perfect measurement, but about level.
Yeah, we've seen them be in the same level once so far.
And it was
really
Surf
long
was
one.
right as Logic was entering. Yeah, and a really long one, so yeah.
It's just
Still got
nice
a little-
to see that of how he is catching.
Yeah, still got a decent way to go though before you actually overtake Surf though. I think Surf would have to make a pretty big mistake for Logic to overtake him, like within Evening Lake.
It'll be close. They'll definitely be very close on their way out.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at their times, just really briefly, I took a look at it, but it looks like Surf even might have slightly better loads, but they're pretty even on their loads, it looks like, too. So that doesn't seem to be a factor in somebody pulling ahead.
We do have the 5-minute like RTA deficit for Surf, but other than
Right.
that, and you can
Yeah,
see
that's
Surf
why
in-
if you're looking at the timers right now, it looks like Surf's done like 13 minutes more, but there's 5 minutes of time, 4.5 minutes of time.
But at least it's not like if I ever race somebody, they have like 67 minutes more or less loads than I do.
Yeah, and just a reminder, if you were here and didn't catch the explanation, Surf did have to do a reset right at the start with a timer issue, but because this race is all determined by loadless time, it doesn't matter. They had to reset the time. Just his contribution to his team's timer just reset again. Which is, in hindsight, another very good reason for us doing loadless.
Yeah. I mean, we could have just like subtracted out the RTA, I guess, but Loadless makes it a lot nicer. You're gonna see, I think Surf's gonna go for this torch jump, hopefully. Where there was a little cave you saw. Yeah, he's gonna go for it. Oh. Not first try, but there's a little cave on the other side that there was a metal chest in. So we shot it from one of the cannons we weren't supposed to, and now we're gonna get into the cave a way we're not supposed to. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, there's multiple torch jumps in these games. There's like 3 or 4.
Some are more fun than others.
That was one of the fun ones, at least. I like that.
There we go. Lost Fleet skateboarding.
Yep. This sure is a mini game. You're gonna see Surf. There is a specific trick you can do, where you'll see he'll do like a backflip and then a side backflip, and it will just instantly fill up his boost, so he's able to just go across the whole, like, just hold that boost the whole time. And every time he runs low, he's gonna do another trick to fill it back up. Also, little note right there, because I think it's really cool, is you saw he like jumped up near one of the ramps to pick up a gem, It's because usually sparks can't pick up gems while you're in the air, but because you're standing on the skateboard, you count as being grounded. So he was able to jump up to get close enough to that gem, so he doesn't actually have to go up that ramp later. I like that. Oh. One crash though, but luckily you respawn about right where you crashed, so it's not too much of a time loss.
Yeah, and I cannot stress enough how annoying this skateboard can be to control. Seeing a runner crash, that is a lot of the times no fault of their own.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about. Ooh, that was an interesting crash on Surf side. I was gonna say we were talking about how it looked. You know, it was really looking like Logic was catching up, and it really is just showing how long some of those speed levels take with the races. That he's still in there.
Yeah, a lot of the levels in this game are very long compared to the other two games, just because there's so much to do. You have like all the collecting the gems in the main level. You got mini games, like we were saying. You got side characters. It's just a lot to do.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect example, right? We were saying, you know, in game 1, you just have to collect all the gems in a flight level. Game 2, there's like one mission per level, and then this one, there's so many.
Like just for
speedways.
Yeah, just for reference, like the one egg for the first race that Surf just did took longer than like a couple of the levels in Spyro 1, and he still has to do another whole 3-lap race and then go do another couple mini games as well as he did the level before. So it's just very long in comparison.
House is saying the Lost Fleet is the longest level in the entire trilogy.
I believe it. Logic on its way into the Lost Fleet now, so again, they're in the same level now. But again, really long levels, so doesn't mean that they're super close either.
So we will time them coming out of Lost Fleet. Just since they're in the same level now.
Okay.
Seems like a good place to time them and get that gap.
Yeah. Oh. Surf managed to crash but get the boosted. It's a little nice.
That was not a cool crash. All right, moment of truth here for Surf. You made it through one race good.
Okay. No extra
Round of applause for actually functioning like you should, SRT.
We hold this game to such a high standard, it's unreasonable sometimes.
The bar is pretty low, but there's a bar to be set.
Surf did the nice starfish jump to get into the boat.
Yeah,
and
that
Logic
is a really cool jump.
Yeah. Logic also did a nice wall glide to get out of a little pit a little earlier instead of having to climb back up the stairs.
There's a lot of really cool stuff you can do on Lost Fleet.
Yeah, there might be something even cooler. I don't know if Logic's gonna go for it this time. We'll see. Oh, I think he just thought about it and then said no. I saw him. There's a wall glide right there. That's just a swag glide. It doesn't. Oh wait, he's going for it. He's going for it. Yeah, there it is. Oh, okay.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, that wall glide loses you like a second. It's just cool. Yeah.
We giving out style points?
We can. +1 style point to my team.
-1 style point for not watching Bone Dance.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Yeah, you see Surf here on the left is doing subs now, which is you have like you can see like the rings. There's an auto lock on where if you look at them long enough, they'll all turn red, and then you shoot and it will automatically like home in. But we try and just like no scope them as we call it because you don't want to wait for that lock on. It can be very difficult to do.
Yeah, a lot of runners have the first subs down to a science since it's been done for a long time in any percent. Subs 2 can also be done very fast, but this one, since there's a lot more subs and whatnot, it's little less comfortable by most runners. Plus, in 117, you have to be either in the first or second subs, you want to be breaking the strong chest with the sub so you can come back in and pick up the gems after. So it can mess up the cycles a bit.
Yeah, just for reference, Bobby and Logic of first and second place 90%. Do not do subs 2, even though it is slightly faster, just because it's so inconsistent and can be very difficult to get right. You lose a lot of time if you mess it up. You can see Surf is struggling to like hunt down these subs and get them. They also in the second phase deploy like little mines that can intercept your shots, so they you can either stay locked on or lock on again and lose even more time. Kind of ridiculous.
We just saw Logic do that torch glide and he got it first time as well.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Hopefully no 4-lap race for him.
Say we didn't get an agreement from Surf that if Logic gets the 4-lap that he'll stop for 30 seconds.
We'll just message Surf and tell him to take 4 laps in bonus round to make up for it. Yeah, and in the subs area, there's a bunch of gems that you can't pick up while you're in the sub. So you gotta get the invisibility power up and swim around to get them all. You gotta go back to the power up a few times to be able to get everything. So not quick, but it's the only way.
No more crashes for Logic so far, just that one at the start.
Yeah, he's pretty good at doing these tricks. And I actually noticed the other day that he does the flips on the D-pad. I don't know if other runners do that, but I tried it myself, and it's much more consistent that way.
I use the D-pad for everything skateboard. It's so much better.
Logic actually uses D-pad for the whole run, interestingly enough. I don't know of anybody else who does that.
I respect it. I try and use D-pad as much as I can because it just leads for very consistent setups for a lot of things. I use it for wall glides and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So Sir finally out of Lost Fleet. I was probably in there for like what 15 minutes almost. That's a long run.
Gonna be going for a pretty tricky jump here, going to the Hannah egg. This is a pretty tight jump. Another one of those jumps you want to be on 30 FPS for.
So 131.20 coming out of Lost Fleet for Surf.
Got Hannah jump. Good job on the Hannah jump. That jump, if you mess it up, you have to go around and climb that ladder and then jump back. Pretty significant time loss.
Yeah, and it doesn't look that bad, but like when you're up there at the TED egg, like the tower has like a weird hitbox, weirder than it looks. It's a little further out, so you have to kind of jump wide and cut back in. It's definitely a tough jump to nail.
Yeah, very awkward to get a good jump off of that to get the distance you need.
Just on what you guys were talking about with the D-pad, I think that's one of the interesting things about SRT running, especially between the 3 games, is there's all these different control schemes and control tech and stuff. You know, you use a lot of keyboard and mouse in Spyro 1, there's a little bit of keyboard and mouse in Spyro 2, and then there's keyboard and mouse and D-pad. There's D-pad in Spyro 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just little bits of different tech.
Yeah, we do
So
switch
that's
back to
personal preference in all 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
But even with stuff like in Spyro 1, you use the D-pad to move the cannons faster and stuff. And...
Yes. Also, just to get like, you know, very, you know, like 90-degree, 180-degree turns very precisely. A lot of switching, which I think makes it interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So this is now Bentley. This is the last of the additional characters?
One more. Still have to get Agent 9.
I still have to get Agent 9, of course.
Yes, can't forget the best one.
Those gongs remind me of Croc. Anyone else?
Oh my god, what a video game. Can we talk about Croc for the rest of the run?
You want to talk? You guys want to complain about movement? Let's play Croc.
Have you seen speedrun tech for that game? It's kind of intense.
Yeah, the hover is brilliant.
I did see that too, Green. Logic just flamed Hunter on the race. The disrespect.
Croc was the first video game I was ever bought as a child.
I'm so sorry.
I did not love it, even as a 5-year-old.
Yeah, as we were saying, Surf's in Bentley now, and he controls a lot differently from OG. He has like an over-the-top camera, kind of like shoulder view in the third-person controls, which I think it functions much better. But he's got also the big club, so he's going to be going around just whacking metal crates and doing the usual stuff. And then Logic's going now into subs, so he's going to try and get some no-scopes. Got the first 3, and then the 4th one took a little while.
Yeah, Bentley isn't the fastest side character we'll unlock, that's for sure.
In fact, he's the slowest.
Fancy that.
Yeah, he does kind of crawl around. It's not. Oh, okay.
Oh, Sparks, alright.
That was one of the stuck gems from that enemies. Or from that enemy. Sparks didn't want to pick it up.
Oh, wow. Logic was having trouble there on that 3rd sub. Got it like the last possible second he could.
He lost
Yeah, you
one
can
as
see-
well.
Yeah, you can see once you lose track of these subs, it's very hard to get them back.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just have to take the lock on and deal with it most of the time. Surf going in the frozen now, and like we briefly mentioned at the start, a lot of the homeworld routing is based around getting enough gems or just like doing the level order so that you get the side character and then go into the levels that need the side character. So we just did Bentley, and now we're in Frozen Altars, which has Bentley boxing. So you want to make sure you do Frozen Altars after, or else you'd have to revisit.
Talk to me about Bentley boxing. Everyone loves it.
Can we appreciate Surf accidentally leaving the thing before he melted the ice?
Just a little early. Yeah, Bentley boxing is another FPS dependent mini game where if you can just, if you're playing on a higher FPS, you can just get beaten, like battered by the Yeti. Kind of terrible. But I believe, I can't tell if he's on 30 already, but if he's not, he will definitely be switching to it for the boxing.
Now is that's Logic leaving
Yes.
Lost
Lost
Fleet?
Fleet. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so Logic is now 8 minutes ahead.
Yeah, he's making that back. We're just about at the halfway point for Surf, I believe. He's has a 310 PB. I'm not like a 309.
309, yeah.
309.
Yeah, 309, and he's 135, so just about halfway. And then Logic is also just about halfway. So
Yeah, he's
about
got
halfway. He's made up 8 minutes. He's got 10 more to make up. It's gonna be close.
he's got 249.
there's a lot of time to be made up in this end game, though. A lot of stuff is inconsistent near the end, or
True.
you just lose a lot of time to making mistakes. Oh, okay. I thought Surf was gonna fall on the wrong side of the wall there.
No, we haven't seen, for a while now, we haven't seen Sparks levels. And we're going to be pretty soon seeing the runners backtrack and start getting a lot of their backtracking over with and getting some of these Sparks levels. We haven't seen one since Crawdad Farm.
Yeah. Like we said, the first and the last upgrades are the ones you want, so we kind of just got the first one and then we ignored them for a while, but now that we're getting near that 100 egg mark to fight the sorceress, we're gonna then go back, clean up some stuff so that we get the 100 eggs, and then immediately go get that and then start to clean up. So also, just a little note on Logic's side, if you hit the snowball into the gong, which you're doing to like knock down the snow and make that little bridge. You talk to Bartholomew while that's happening, and then if you then skip the dialogue during the cutscene, you get control during it, so you can save a little bit of time that way.
I thought you were gonna say how the game goes into a 4:3 screen resolution because there's no way anybody playtests at this level.
I know that's your favorite part about this level.
It absolutely is.
I still just have not even the start of an idea of why that happens. Just
I just enjoy it so much. Like, all you had to do was play the level to see that.
Surf's gonna start the best mini game, cat hockey.
Everyone's been excited for it.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna. Oh, he did. Yeah, he flamed the guy or froze the guy and then talked to him. I love that.
Classic.
Yeah, and didn't mention it, but in Frozen Altars, you have this is the only level you have like a ice breath instead of your fire breath, so you do a lot of like freezing things and solving puzzles that way. Or in this case, you do the mini game. Yeah, that's the reason. The gong is so powerful, it just sets the game to 4x3. Breaks reality itself.
Saying a lot of cat jam and cat hockey in the chat. So Logic's working his way through Bentley. See if he's able to get that gem that Sparks decided not to. I think he did. Struggled with that enemy though.
Yeah, if you miss that one, you know you can't come back up here because you drop down, so that'd be a big time loss with how slow Bentley moves, having to go all the way back around the level. Oh, you got it.
Yeah.
So now again, we see Logic entering a level that Surf's about to be exiting. Actually, I think Surf might leave this level just before Logic gets into it.
Good way to dodge getting hit there on Surf's side.
Oh, he is
Yep.
just got out in before Logic went in.
Yeah,
Get
they're
a
both
nice
on the
little high five again.
Look at that, with side by side flying.
This level's definitely a lot shorter than Lost Fleet, though, so there's even more of the gap being closed.
Yeah. I'll take another time check just so we can keep track.
Yeah, Palace has been co-op the whole time. It's never been a race. We're all working together.
That's why you were throwing for content.
Exactly.
Surf's now making his way into Fireworks Factory. Now, I've never completed Spyro 3, but I know about Fireworks Factory.
Yeah, we're not going to see the worst of it on this visit, but you will feel the pain later. You can be sure of that. Yeah, you see a lot of these levels later on just have like their own unique gimmicks, and one of them is the Fireworks Factory has like the firework rockets that you can use to shoot the big guys and break metal chests, so you're gonna see a lot of those being shot off. Also, one of the best eggs coming up right now, Noodles.
Shout outs to Noodles.
Shout outs to Nudes.
I didn't get a chance. I was going to shout out earlier, but I didn't get a chance to shout out Chad.
Oh, that's right. We also missed Stubby on the way in here.
Yeah.
Evening like just really stacked on the dragon eggs.
Yeah. They found all of the cool names and they're like, let's put them all in the same homeworld. Really wanted to beef up Evening Lake, I guess.
I mean, and it's all it's got, right?
Yeah. I mean, the levels. They had to make up for the levels somehow.
Yup.
Yeah, you can flame the big metal guys on their back and like light off their fireworks, but Surf just missed that, so he had to go back for a firework. Not that big of a deal, but worth noting.
I think it's a long shot to say the best level in Evening Lake is Honey Speedway.
Oh god.
And Fireworks Factory features the return of Greta, the troublemaking child from Spyro 2.
Yep,
Honestly,
it's a real sequel.
where are their parents?
Oh, Surf almost fell there. That would have been really bad. Logic finishing up Yeti boxing now. I wasn't paying attention. Was that 1 or 2? That was 2.
Good
Yep,
question.
just-
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
I think we should talk as well about the level of concentration and focus it takes to run any game for 3 hours. But a game like this, where there's really not a lot of downtime other than the load times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're trying to charge and move all the time.
Yeah, it's not like you're playing Spyro 1 where you have a couple minutes between each level. Loads.
But even like those, 100% in Spyro 1 is like, even if you're bad, it's 90 minutes.
Closer to
Yeah,
about
no.
2 hours. Yeah.
It is very impressive, and to be able to play it at such consistency, I mean, there are just thousands of gems to pick up in all these levels.
And any single missed one can be a minute or more of time lost depending on where it is. So you gotta
For sure.
really know the game. And the gems in this game versus 1 and 2, I feel, are a lot more spread out. So you kind of have to like even know like individual gem locations rather than just like there's a group here and a group there, you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
big
I-
level.
As you run these categories, I feel like, you make the mistakes, and then you're like, oh, I'm missing 2. I think I know where that 2 is. It's that 2 I always miss,
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about when Spyro 2, we talked about the 2 5 gems at the top of Tower 5 and Aquaria Towers.
Oh yeah, I hate
Always
those.
the 2 that you missed in Spyro 2.
I know exactly which ones you're talking about. Yeah, it looks like Surf is going in this course now. And luckily for this category, it's not too bad.
Five style points to anybody that does rocket storage.
So it's about 8 minutes 20 ahead now, Logic. 8 minutes 20. So
Kind of
still a lot
leaving
of
it.
time to make up, but the halfway point, he's kind of made up about half of what he needs, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's like we said, it all comes down to how consistent they are. So if Surf misses a gem and has to go back into a level, it might just be over there. But if he can keep playing consistently at this level, then it might be just enough to pull out the win.
I agree. I mean, I think Surf definitely has a good shot of taking it here, but he has to just play it pretty well the rest of the way out. No room for error.
Definitely no room for any big mistakes. Maybe a small one here or there, but also I just had a look and it looks like Surf might be on like really good PB pace too, so he's actually doing much better than we might have expected.
Better be a real PB this time.
He went in the score shot 151.42 and he's halfway through the fight at a 47, so
Oh, he got
Oh,
a
yeah.
buzz.
oh, that's not great, but he's got to, okay, he got the hit at the end. No rocket storage, no style points, but unfortunately not needed for this category to just make it even, more. That'd be terrible this far into a run this length.
Oh god, yeah.
Yep, Surf going into Midnight Mountain now, and Logic halfway through Fireworks. So we're still keeping that like one level, half a level at a boss fight, still about the same distance from each other.
Mhm.
Although Fireworks Factory is short levels, so we're getting a little closer. I would have thought that Logic would be catching up a little more than this, but Surf's putting in a really good effort to try and keep that lead.
Yeah, Surf made a lot of really early mistakes, but I think he's really found his stride now. Maybe it was just some nerves there at the start from messing up his timer and all that was kind of getting to him, but in this mid to late game, he's really been doing great.
Yeah, the early game in this is not easy either, so.
It is not.
So, we see now that Surf is starting to do the backtracking. Like I said, we want the 100 eggs to beat Sorceress as soon as possible, because right after we can go get the Sparks upgrade. So he's going to go back and clean up some stuff that doesn't really benefit from Sparks. Like he's going to do Bamboo, and then he's going to go do Country Speedway, right? It's Country?
Yes.
Yes,
Then
okay.
you can leave from there and go do the
Yeah.
Sparks level.
And then exactly, he's going to start doing the Sparks levels after that.
This is some high speed action going on the left side here. Don't blink.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of auto scrollers in this run, but this is definitely a slow one. Just, looking around, scenic view. Not much going on.
Don't worry, it only gets better after this minigame.
You can also see Surf is using his mouse right here. It's a little better. This minigame doesn't really benefit from it, but it's a little nicer. Definitely don't really gain any time because you're on an auto scroller. Yep, Logic on his way now to go fight Scorch.
Will Logic go for the style points?
I hope so.
5 style points and a firm handshake if he gets it.
You really got to be on a good cycle for Rocket Storage, which if you're not trying to specifically go for, is not likely. And then you're also losing time trying to set it up. So you probably won't go for it, but if he just ends up on a good cycle, he might get it for the style points. I know he went for it, or he was gonna go for it on his marathon run last weekend, and then decided not to because he would have had to wait too long. So we can only hope.
I'd imagine though, at the position he's in, I mean, definitely interested to know if I imagine he's at least glancing over, even just to check that the stream overlay, everything's still good, but I'm sure he's aware of where Surf is and the time difference, so.
Well, he's also, not to get too far into how this is run, but the runners are, if they want to, are able to be in this channel and hear our commentary, rather than just to watch the stream, if that's what because people said they wanted to watch the stream to hear what we were saying, so it's not giving them an advantage because they're just running. But so Logic is getting the time checks at the same time as you all are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So in a lot of these cases, he really has to be like, I just need to keep gaining time, so he might not have the time to spend setting up something like Rocket Storage. He needs every second he can get to catch up to Surf.
Yeah,
Surf is
Logic
not making it easy for him.
Yeah,
yeah, Logic.
That's what we said. This is the halfway point of the run, and he has made up half of the time he needs to make up. So he's on pace, but it's on pace to be very close.
Yeah, we're a little bit farther now than halfway through the runs, so.
Yeah, in terms of where we last time checked it.
Yeah.
He was halfway through with 8.5 minutes. He needs 17. So, Ali G makes a good point. Will he regret watching Bone Dance?
Well,
You
he
never
never
regret watching Bone Dance.
he didn't watch Bone Dance. No style points.
He watched we watched a little bit.
A little bit, not the whole thing. So it's
He
not as
watched
cool.
more than Surf did.
That is true. I also just realized Logic's still in this call with us and not deafened, so he heard me when I went over to the red team.
Yeah.
Logic, I believe in you, buddy.
And this
I'm
is,
still calling back to red team winning by 2.3 seconds and fucking Speedway making the difference.
Right.
But yeah, this is where we're, we can analyze this after the fact and see, and we'd have to ask the questions. I think it would be good to hear from the runners, like we talked about in Spyro 1 and Spyro 2, where guys like Cameron and Green were they taking safer strategies because they knew they had time, and is that then gonna harm their team if they lose by 30 seconds? Is that time they could have made if they hadn't gone for safer strats?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kat, we talked about that when we were doing the Spyro 1 race. You talked to Randy about it, that you felt a certain amount of pressure leading off, that it was setting up the rest of the race for the team.
Yeah, that is true. Like
Definitely a tough
we were,
position to be in.
yeah, we were saying that Cam and Hammerhead's difference and then Surf and Logic's difference was pretty similar. So like the couple of minutes from the Spyro 1 race could have made the difference. We'll see if that ends up being true.
Yeah, you guys were the closest. You're both leaderboard mods. You both have multiple records.
Mm-hmm.
We were the most closely aligned, and then we're just waiting to see how these different handicaps, I guess if you could call them that, work out for these guys.
Uh-huh.
And Logic's now on the boat.
Back to
Pretty
being in the
peaceful.
same level again. For just a little bit. And then Surf, I think, yep, he's gonna exit here.
Green Soul says he regrets nothing. So good for you, Green.
I regret everything. Yeah, you can see Logic doing the boat. He's on controller, and you can see it doesn't make a difference as long as you're quick enough with the shots to not fail it, since it's basically an auto-scroller. The only shot it makes any difference on is the very last one, because this, the faster you kill the last enemy, the faster you win, but shouldn't be enough of a difference to really matter.
Can I get a yeehaw for Country Speedway? The Speedway is great. Actually, the Hunter minigame kind of sucks here because like the game tries to auto aim for you, and
it's not great.
It more than helps you.
Yeah, it has the same kind of aiming thing as that boat auto scroller, but it's a lot worse. So it's not even using mouse there doesn't really help you at all.
Well, this is exactly what I was saying about, what were these people smoking when they made this game? They just went absolutely to town with the theming of these Speedway levels. Let's have one where it's all bees. Let's have one where it's country themed.
I like it. I think
Disco Speedway in Spyro 4.
Let's race the blue-footed boobies.
That's a weird choice, I think. That's got to be the weirdest one. Yeah, we also mentioned when we said that Surf has the IL record for Mushroom Speedway. He also does the. I don't think he has any other the records, but he definitely does do the other speedways. So he's got to go. Gonna probably do a little better than Logic here on these.
You can definitely see it. He has very clean movement through these speedways.
Yeah.
And then there's this.
More auto scrollers.
Okay, we're coming up on Logic coming out here, and we'll do another very brief time checks. Lots of yeehaws in the chat. Love to see it. You love to see it. Moving this slowly when you're doing a speed run must be incredibly frustrating.
We got both sides moving pretty slow at the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
Surf's just in an auto scroller and Logic's with Bentley. The slow controls not Not the highest octane gameplay, but has to be done.
Yeah, this is the sort of chat we get when we get 6 hours into a speedrun event. I was watching. I don't know if any of you guys have ever watched them. The devs react to speedrun videos.
Yes, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
There's the Hitman devs reacted to Hitman 3 speedrun, and the guy just like runs past people, and they're like, "But we made him really slow, so you couldn't do that." No, it's not slow enough. But they're like joking about how they made Hitman the slowest character in the history of video games.
Now I've been waiting since they came out the NST one for the Spyro one. And it's just it's never happening.
Oh,
They don't.
Toys
They
for
don't
Bob
care.
is gone.
I know, right? It's
They're
dead
gone.
now, so R.I.P.
Yeah, so we got Surf on the race now. Still a little faster, but still, just kind of no way to really speed this up too much. You just got to take good lines through these rings. Logic's finishing up Bamboo now. Going back through, like we said, with the mystery vases, he's got to clean up the level backwards so that he can track that down, get all the gems.
He's got a couple of little bits to do here, but he's a little bit shy. 10 minutes ahead of Surf now, and we'll see how long it takes him to do this cleanup.
And I'm really excited to see where we're at towards the end of the game here.
It's about 9 minutes. 9
Yes, that-
9:15.
Yeah, so that lead is like, not creeping up as fast as it should be.
He definitely gained a lot in the early game, and it seems to be leveling off a little more in this later section.
Yeah. And I don't think that's because Logic's playing bad. I think Surf's just playing
No,
very
not at
well.
all.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think Surf has found his stride a little bit. He struggled with some of the early game tech, and has really settled into it.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta stop saying stuff like that, because when we say stuff like that, Surf is very likely to mess something up. Commentator curse.
I believe in Team Donut.
So as of now, it's in about 9:15. That's not going to be enough. That would be like an 8-minute win for Team Donut.
Mm-hmm.
But that time is that lead for Logic is creeping up and up and up, and we keep talking about it. But this is them in the same level again in the same speedway.
Yeah.
I mean, it might just come down to super bonus round. How well that behaves and how well they handle it.
I would be very surprised to not see them in the same level at the same time right at the end.
Yeah. Just to give an update though, Surf is 5.5 minutes ahead of PB right now. So
That is insane.
he's kind of playing out of his mind for this right now.
Kind
Yeah,
of
it would be
gaming
great.
right now.
It'd be
Kinda
great to have him get a PB. We even if win or lose, it would be great to have somebody hit a PB in this race.
It would be.
I don't know what Logic's doing in terms of pace.
I can check. Let's go find out.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
You see Surf hitting his FPS back up to do another Sparks level.
Mm-hmm.
So is this the last one you guys were talking about?
No,
No, we
just-
saw two more.
Two
Yeah,
more.
this is the second. We're gonna basically go and do, I think, all three in a row. No, we're gonna do the next
Nope.
two and then Sorcerers and then the last, I think.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Because, like I said, you have to beat Sorcerers to unlock the last one, so. And I'll give you an update on Logic's PB, or versus his PB once he finishes Country. Well, but at the moment, it looks like he's pretty close.
Yeah, they're both playing out of their mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're
it's
both-
very
both
impressive.
playing,
Yeah.
I think we've seen we've said it before, but I think all the runners today have really all performed well.
All but one.
Oh, don't give us that. Everybody's done great. They've been some really impressive times.
Yeah, I think just to be able to do any of the times that they did in a single run
Yeah.
with no resets is just impressive, right?
Yeah, of course. Like all of these runs being collectathons, you know, it's all about consistency, and you know, you miss one thing, you're losing a ton of time. So,
And like we've talked about, there's so many factors at play. I mean, you know, even like you said, the first people starting off feeling the nerves of carrying their team to, you know, a mistake that you can't reset over, kind of carrying that with you for a while and trying to recover from it and find your stride again.
Also, according to Groxu, Logic is a minute 10 down from his PB, like behind his PB, which
Which is
still,
record.
yeah. So very, very good pace.
Yeah, it's not just his PB; it's world record pace.
Yeah. So he's on pace for like a 250-ish at the moment.
But at this point, that's all Surf needs, is just to be a couple minutes faster and Logic to be a couple minutes slower, and that'll make all the difference.
Well, at the moment, Logic's on pace for a 250 and Surf's on pace for like a 305. So really, that means there's some time to be made up for Logic later on. I guess Logic might have a stronger late game to make up some time coming up. Because at the moment, he's kind of been stagnating with that lead, but if he's got that much time in comparison, then you know he's got to make it up somewhere.
I mean, there's still a good amount of run left.
Yeah. Over an hour. So you can see Surf's going back in the evening lake to go do the Sparks level. Like I said, they're doing like 2 and then Sorceress and then the last one. So it's a lot of Sparks for now.
They've both got almost certainly over an hour of run left.
Yeah, for sure.
And as we said, you know, not to blow smoke, especially as he's listening, but you know, Logic's also in along with prepping for running this. He's also had to prep for the stream, and we've been organizing everything. He's been doing a bulk of the work, and
yeah,
he's not maybe had as much time to practice as he might have wanted.
Yeah,
all right, you convinced me. He can have his PowerPoint.
But then you know, Surf is like way over PB pace, so that gets a style point. PB is like that's gonna be 2 style points at least, right?
Yeah, definitely.
PB in the race.
I don't know about Logic though. He's had time to practice. He's been doing 120, so maybe he just felt really confident that he could just come in here and smash this Surf without much practice. Which I mean, he seems to be doing. He's like we said, he's a minute behind PB, so he's playing very well. Do we have a tally on the style points? Do we know? I don't think we do.
I think we had. I think we won to Surf and took one away for not watching Bone Dance.
Yeah.
And
So I
then
think
Logic had 1.
I don't know.
Yeah, Logic
We'll
got
say-
1 for doing the swag wall glide.
Right. We'll say they're even. Well, they're dead even. They're both styling.
They're styling, they're profiling.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talk about how the runners switch their FPS to 50 or 60 to do these Sparks levels, but I mean, just if you're just casually playing the game, just play these levels on unlimited FPS. It's kind of insane. Sparks is like a laser beam.
Yeah, we're not allowed to use unlimited for the leaderboard, so that's why we stay at 60. But yeah, like from what I've seen, it's based on like how high your FPS is, how the faster he shoots with that power up. So your computer can go up way higher than 60, and you can just destroy everything.
This game just has too much stuff that tied the frame rate.
If I run above 30, my computer sends me angry letters, so. Right, again, we're seeing them both in Sparks levels right now.
Yeah, you're seeing Surf take on the Manta Ray boss, which he's he carries that power up in on purpose to just destroy it like that. Just easily goes down. I think the only even kind of hard boss in this is the spider boss that Logic's going to be on in a second. I think all the other 3 just kind of fold as soon as you spam them with that power up.
Yeah.
And I think it's also because it's hard to keep the power up going into the spider boss because you get it so early on, and you want to use it a little bit to clear out these enemies like Logic's doing to make space. But if you use it too much, then you don't have it for the boss, and that can lose you time. So
Yeah,
kinda
I mean,
like
that is... These Sparks levels do look like they're just, you know, they feel easy, and the runner's just blasting through them. But, I mean, they have to play careful, because, yeah, if they die or something and lose that power-up, that's a way bigger time loss than just dying.
Yeah, you see these hordes of enemies that they're dodging. If they accidentally like fell into it or got surrounded, you know, it's kind of just over. They either have to, they're gonna die.
I think it's
or
a good point as well that Logic isn't using mouse and keyboard for these. He's using controller.
Yeah, he's my hero. He tries to use controller for as much as he can. My actual hero.
I thought he used keyboard and mouse for these. I guess not. Interesting. You see Surf just finished the last Sparks mission for now. We're going into Sorceress.
Let's go.
The
final boss of the game. Let's go. This is it.
Yeah. If only.
This is it. That's the run. It's over in just a minute. I promise.
Any percent. Yep.
Any percent with 103 eggs. Yep.
Swag percent. I mean, we'll time check out Sorceress just because it's feels appropriate.
Yeah. I mean, Sorceress is kind of a turning point.
Oh no, Surf.
Oh, that wasn't good.
That's super unfortunate.
What happened there?
I'm not sure. Sorceress kind of just chased him down even though he was on the tank already, which usually doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think it's because he got the hit while she was right next to him.
Yeah.
Got that fast hit.
So that's the second bit of boss fight jank for Surf.
This fight's full of it.
Oh yeah, we gave him a style point for finding a new glitch no one had ever seen before.
Right.
That was so good.
Yeah, so you can see he's on the tank now. There's like the cannon and the tank, and he was able to just like shoot and then turn around to bait her into attacking. And then you can just turn back around and shoot her to get 3 shots very quickly on that one tank.
If you could do the whole fight with the tank, this would be a so much better boss fight.
It would save like a minute or something.
But unfortunately, they locked this boss to you can only do so many hits. Even if you get somehow cheese an extra hit in after the 2 allowed, the game won't give it to you. You have to use all 3 vehicles. So.
Well, yeah, it's 2 hits on the first cannon, 3 on the tank, and now 5 with this UFO, which does not control the best. Oh, Logic went for, or he went for the Logic strat.
Yeah, he did. That was nice.
I guess
It's
Logic's
not like
and then yeah, he got shot off, which is not great. These UFO, like if you see now he's on green, so like he got shot off the UFO, so he's gonna have to wait for another one. And then because he was on green sparks, he was getting sheep shot down instead of more UFOs. So now he's gotta wait.
It's a very unfortunate sorceress fight going on here.
Yeah, it's very easy to have that happen, but it's a pretty decent time lock. We got like a 208.52 sorceress, I think that was.
Yeah.
Like going into that black screen.
Yep.
209.2 of the credits.
209. Yeah, after the
That
credits.
works.
That's the better way to time it.
So now the game gets to open up for Surf here. He can go do Bugbot and get his Sparks upgrade, and then he can just start.
You start
fully
bullets.
running through this.
Yeah. Because you might not think it sounds that impressive to just break open like barrels for like vases and crates for you, but once you see it in action, it's like a lot of time save. I don't have to go out of your way for that.
Beautiful quick key there by Surf and Bugbot. That they got these thieves with the keys and all these levels, and they can be pretty annoying.
Ooh.
I was just
There's
gonna
a
say,
lot of these.
I was pretty sure Logic was still on 50 FPS there because it
Yeah.
was really nice, and he used the headbang. The headbang.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's a nice little time to change the FPS during that head bash because you're like in the middle of an animation, so you're not gonna lose time by pausing and unpausing. It's a good time to do it. And then he's gonna have to switch back to 60 immediately after the fight for the next Sparks level.
With this electric shield, you hit these thieves, it just
Oh.
deletes them out of existence.
Yep. I was gonna say, like, the other Sparks levels are pretty straightforward. This one has like a lot of keys and a lot of side areas that you kind of just have to you kind of have to just guess which key goes to which door until you know.
And they have
So-
like these disappearing green enemies, and like casually, this is a pretty punishing Sparks level.
Yeah.
The swarms of
Stop.
enemies are definitely pretty terrifying.
Oh yeah, having to deal with those can be very tricky. And it's the same thing with this level as the spider one, where you get the power up very early on. You want to like carry it to the end because you need it for the boss to kill it quickly. But you gotta kind of use it throughout the level to stay alive, not lose too much health. Oh, you can see Logic still.
Oh no!
Still, yeah, that was scary. He's missing some shots on the cannon or on the tank too.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have to watch how Logic's fight here goes because he definitely had some time to save on Surf.
Yeah, he not having Sparks there is gonna lose him some time because like Agent 9 will always shoot down a sheep if you're on no Sparks or green Sparks. Oh, was that on purpose? I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
He's
he lost
scaring
time
me here.
Oh, and they got the extra life. That's actually really nice.
That's a good
Oh,
time
and
to get it.
And then he shot down the sheep.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Let's see if Logic can do the Logic UFO.
Get the sheep
Yeah,
in the UFO.
Oh my god, this is stupid. Yeah, you can see you can like tilt up to like have the sorceress run at you, and then tilt down to shoot her from above, and it's a lot harder to do than it looks.
You know, it was
Very
a scary
rare.
fight, but I definitely think that was still better than Surf's.
Yeah, well, we're about to hit 158 something on this, so now he's about 11 minutes ahead, almost.
It's about 10:40.
Yeah.
Still gain him, but
So-
it's definitely a slowed down pace.
It has slowed down. So he's got to find about 6 minutes in this last hour.
Mm-hmm. Like we keep saying, it could just come down to somebody missing. Like if Surf misses a gem from this point, that's such a big time loss that it could make the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the most satisfying bit of Spyro 3.
Mm-hmm. Get the beat up money bags.
House is saying Spyro 2 kind of decided the race. I gotta disagree with you, to be honest, House, because Cameron only won by 17 minutes, which is less than the pace that they have on their PBs. I think maybe Spyro 1 decided the race.
I think all three kind of decided it. Like,
Yeah, I think they all had definitely had a part to play. It was very
Yeah.
even, and we're gonna see it come down to the wire.
Team Donut
Like you thought me.
came to play
kinda-
today.
I kind of choked Spyro 1 and lost some time for us. Like it could have been like 2 minutes more in our direction if I had played well. But then Hammerhead had a really good performance, but then so did Cam. So they were both like 2 minutes off their PB, I believe, right?
Mhm. Everyone's playing fantastic.
Yeah, and now Surf's on insane pace, on PB pace,
Yeah.
and Logic's not on PB pace, but he's very close to it. So
I mean, Logic's on sub 3 pace, which is super impressive.
Cam's right. I think the game was decided by the treetops game over.
Yeah, that was super unfortunate.
That was usually that wouldn't be an issue, but because of stuff that happened earlier, it's just how it went. It's unfortunate.
Now this, personally, I'd say this is a rough part of 117, is getting all the gems in this shark sub area.
Yeah. Also,
you
you're gonna
wouldn't-
see the quick shark. Oh, maybe not. Oh, they do it. Yeah, they do a different route to pick up more gems. But yeah,
Right.
If you hadn't gamed over in treetops, and if Hammerhead's game hadn't been patched briefly, so he couldn't do that on the beach jump,
yeah,
this race could be entirely different. That's the way
Yeah.
it goes.
mm-hmm. Logic would be like 14 minutes in lead right now instead of 10.
Yeah, to be fair, the big loser of this race is wall glide jumps, because Cameron was having trouble too. There was like that one in Zephyr where he spent the better part of a minute trying to get one gem.
Yeah.
Oh, that one gem. Yep.
Also, we just missed it, but on Logic's side, he did the I think it's a caterpillar or a centipede boss. But yeah, you could like very quickly with that power up just like mow through it and destroy both halves. It's very quick.
Delete it. Good. Surf got the elusive 2 gem by the start. Good to
Centipede.
see.
Yeah. And you can see Surf did the thing again where he used the Sparks Finder and it pointed towards the portal, so he knew he had everything. Nice little trick. And you can see now more on Surf side and probably, yeah, on both sides, you can see the Sparks power up now. You can see they're just like miles away from these vases and these chests, and Sparks just bashing them open, collecting them. It's really fun to run around with this power up.
Yeah, they also have, both runners now have an extra hit of life on their Sparks as well, which is nice.
Did they go for that? Did Surf go for that? I think I can see Logic has the glow, but I don't know if Surf does. Because you have to specifically exit level and talk to Zoe again, which loses a little time.
Okay.
So I didn't check to see if they did that
I
actually.
did not see if they actually talked to Zoe to get it.
That would have been good to pay attention to.
It's hard to tell where he's battering money bags, but I don't think Surf has it.
Well, that's Logic doing money bags.
Yeah, no, I mean, I can't see. I think what I can see on Logic's, I can't see on Surf's.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Surf should just be down one hit right now, but I think Logic has it and Surf might not. I'm not sure about that though.
Surf so far navigating this Sheila section really well. This is a easy section to mess up.
Very easy to mess up.
You'll see he's doing these super kick jumps. That allows him to get the height of a super jump while getting the forward momentum, full forward momentum, which allows him to clear some of these higher jumps really quickly.
He's also not doing the super jump where he doesn't need to because it does take longer to like go up and then land. So any
True.
place he can get away with a double jump, he's gonna go for it. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Oh
Yo.
no!
There's where the extra Sparks life would have came in.
Oh, it looks like Surf does have it. So he did have it. He was just a hit.
Okay.
So I think that's
statement.
I think that's the glow from having it. Someone can chat can tell me if I'm right about that.
That death could be absolutely crucial. when
That
we
wasn't
find this
very
out.
That wasn't very long, but that was just kind of sad. Like he tried to recover it three different times and just barely missed it all 3 times. Very
But
unfortunate.
obviously every second's gonna count here.
Yeah.
It's just hopefully that doesn't mess up that, that groove Surf was on there. He was going pretty much with no mistakes there for a good long time.
Yeah. No big ones for sure. Yeah. You can see now the levels are getting way up there in the gem count. Surf just left with 700. Still got about 4,000 gems to go before we got all of them from this game, or until we at least get into super bonus, and there's another 5,000.
See that Sparks in action there, breaking those vases. Vases?
Same thing.
Urns.
Yeah, never heard it called that before.
Those containers.
Mhm.
Breaks the lives as well.
Yeah. You see Surf now going into Agent 9, and he's using...
Ooh,
Oh, that's not good.
that's a bong for Logic.
It's not the worst fall, but it's not quick either.
It's not what he needs right now, though.
And again, like
Oh.
we're talking about this in like the meta of it, and it's up to the guys if they want to be in this chat and listen to us or not. But like the fact that Logic did that, and then I had to hear the three of us go, "Oh God, no, that's terrible." Does that compound it? Does that make it worse?
Thankfully, Surf did not get any. Oh, okay. Surf did not get any Professor Glitch shenanigans here in Agent 9. Hopefully,
think they
Logic
actually-
doesn't see one as well.
I think they figured out how to fix that if that happens.
Did
too,
they?
luckily.
Okay.
I think
That's
Logic
good.
said.
Because that was
Sure.
always a huge pain.
But yeah, you can see Surf's using keyboard mouse at this level because it's kind of a third-person shooter, so being able to aim at what you need to is a lot easier with keyboard mouse, a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Logic uses keyboard mouse for this level, even though he was using controller earlier. Not completely a purist.
All right, so Logic making his way through Sheila, Surf on Agent 9. The point where neither of them were Spyro.
I was thinking that. What kind of Spyro run is this? Yeah, Logic's right here cleaning up desert ruins. Just gotta pick up the last few gems. Surf's going through. You gotta there's a couple like things in this Agent 9 level where you just have to kind of kill the things it tells you to, and that's how you progress. So he's cleaning up all these birds, and then he's gonna be able to move on.
Oh, Cameron pointing out that Surf's pretty cracked on Agent 9. He wants him on his CSGO team. I think he's got a future in Overwatch or something.
He's got that aim.
Hey, Surf's going for that PB right now.
Yeah, he is.
I haven't checked in a while, but I'm sure he's still on pace for it with how he's been playing.
Wonder if he knows.
I don't know if he's listening to the stream or not. He's not in the same channel as us right
No,
now.
he's gone into his own channel because he doesn't want to listen to us while he's doing it.
I'm just
As
curious
you say,
if
everyone
he
had the
knows.
choice. I think like one runner in each game was listening to us and one wasn't.
I know I was muted, and I think Green was listening.
Yeah, I think
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's right.
I don't know about Hammer and Cam.
You know, you run these games enough, and sometimes you just mentally know, like, I should be at 51 minutes at this spot. If I'm at 50, that's amazing. And so, you know, maybe he has those mental notes, and maybe he's like, he knows that he's ahead right now.
Yeah. I think that'd be a little harder in a category this long, but maybe not. Maybe
for
they know.
sure.
Yeah.
Hammerhead said he was listening, so got a nice mix.
Yeah, but I don't think Cam was, so
Oh man, both runners in the same level.
Again.
yep. Again.
I
Welcome
mean,
to
that
the
gap
Agent
is closing.
9%. So if Surf gets a 10-minute PB, he's gonna go up into the top 3, maybe even second behind Logic on the leaderboards as well.
I just checked. He's still about 5 minutes ahead, so he's not on that. He's not on 10-minute pace, but he's still on a very, very significant PB pace.
We take those.
Yeah, a 5-minute jump in a category, even this long, is still not a small PB. That's still very, very good.
Especially when you're getting close to that 3-hour mark. I mean, that's when it starts
Yeah.
getting hard to find those time saves.
Exactly.
So Sunrise Spring, been a while.
Yeah, we're starting, like we said, we're have the Sparks Lift right now. We took a little break to go into Agent 9 where there's a little less of that running around, just smashing through stuff, but now we're back doing all the backtracking that we didn't do before. It's been 2.5 hours since we were here.
We were so young and naive then.
Yeah, I was almost a Team Caboose fan back then.
That was before Cat was a traitor.
You can see on Surf side, he did a really nice jump there. You can just barely land on the little, a little piece of that, and it allows you to like skip money bags here. Which it's now that you've beat him up this is already active, but it's just a nice little. It's still bad, like still faster to do it from that side. Don't have to go around and climb all the way up. Also didn't point out there were like two smaller jumps, like wall glides at the start of the level to get up into places early. He nailed those.
Yeah, Surf made short work of those. It was really well done. Yeah, even in what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say some of this Agent 9 from Logic's looking really clean. Those two shots on the bottles in the sky and stuff looking just a little bit cleaner than Surf's.
And yeah, this ending section, while it might not look the cleanest, I don't know if you can do this part clean. I mean, it's terrible.
It's just like, I swear, like the hitboxes of those boat guys do not line up with where they look like they are at all. Yeah, you see Surf's going back into Molten now. We have Bird now. We've unlocked all the side characters. So he's going back now to do the levels where the backtrack, where having Super Sparks was faster, or where we needed the side character to keep going. Which is pretty... Yeah.
You can just see it in a lot of these areas, just that Super Spark. You can just run a straight line and Sparks will take care of the rest.
Yeah, you can really see why we prioritize that so heavily. It's like we kind of, do the whole run. Oh, missed the thief.
Oh, that's
and you have it. I think, okay, you got the backup.
That's
not
good.
the worst. Yeah.
That
and
can start to get out of hand.
Oh, he's not going to go for it. You can supercharge through this area to pick up almost all the stuff. He's going to have to do supercharge. Yep, there it is to get that. Oh, and it's going to take it a little farther.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
he did a lot with it. It's just with keyboard mouse. It didn't look like he used keyboard mouse there, but if you do use keyboard mouse, you can get almost all. I think you can get everything in this area without stopping.
Pretty sure you can, yeah.
Just a timing update. Logic is 11 minutes and 11 seconds ahead.
Yeah, it's very close.
So he's still gaining time, but again, is he gaining it fast enough? He's got to get about another 5.5, 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I believe Logic's super bonus round is going to be very strong, though, so I think he can make up a lot of time there.
I think you said this pretty early on, Kat, that you think it's going to come down to super bonus round. I think you're absolutely right. At this point, it is going to come down to super bonus round. Logic is on great pace. He's on, pace that's better than, frankly, anyone else in the world can match on any day. It seems at the moment. Mm-hmm. But Surf is playing out of his mind.
Just as you say that, though, just a little mistake there.
Yeah,
took the hit.
Cursed him.
Commentator curse.
It's not the biggest mistake. That's not even 10 seconds, but still.
No.
Every little bit matters at this point.
It really does. Love having Super Sparks for this bird section. You can pick up those tikis and not have to worry about shooting the baskets.
It really does make everything easier, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. A lot
playable even.
And this has worked out almost perfectly for us in terms of how this run's going to come down.
Yeah.
Another level where
Logic's coming in right as Surf is leaving.
Yep. And we get to see the beauty of twin dragons in action.
Oh, yep. I take it back though. This twin dragon. Oh, Surf didn't mean to get in the cannon. I don't think.
I was gonna say Logic had a little difficulty with his first thief, but he got it pretty quickly after.
Yeah. Well, Surf messed up the second one, so if we can get this, it'll even out. Yep. Surf lost a little time. He was trying to do a jump onto the cannon, onto like a little bit of scenery to get up a little faster, but that's not the end of the world. Still shot him up to where he wanted to go. And now the twin dragon's bag is sure something.
Oh man.
It's infamous.
Yeah.
Like
Just
I say,
how-
I've never played this level, but I know all about it.
I'm not sure if Surf always gets those gems first, or if that was just he bonked and was like, well, I'm in this boat now. I guess I'll get these gems.
I'm not sure either.
So what's going on with these dragons here?
Well, yeah, Zach, if you want to explain.
So we have these two dragons, the red and the blue dragon, and he's gonna have to use the fireball power up, and each hit will knock a piece off the dragon. But over time, the dragons regenerate a piece. So he has to be quick about killing these dragons, or they'll keep regenerating, and he'll start losing a lot of time here.
Yeah, you can see he's focusing on the red one first, so
Yeah.
that they don't like both regenerate while he's trying to hit both. So he's gonna take down the red one, and then once it's dead, he's gonna focus on the blue.
Logic just lost maybe half a second or a second there, missing the tiki head.
Oh,
Well, you know, we had Surf had a little issue with the tiki head, so they're really matching each other right now. But yeah, twin dragons can be interesting because you really like. There's a lot of gems in this area too, and you instinctively want to be getting the gems while you're shooting the dragons, but you don't want them to regenerate too much. So you have to play a nice balance between multitasking and not losing time to regeneration.
yeah, they don't regenerate too fast, but you can see how many hits they take. Any hit extra just can add a lot of time if they're not behaving.
Surf's doing a really good job here on this blue dragon, though. This is some
It was
really
very
good.
fast on the red as well. I think chat seems very
Yeah.
impressed.
Yeah, this blue dragon is really good.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
should met. Oh, yeah, that was a nice step back. Yeah, we should mention the pathing. I think the pathing on these dragons are like entirely random. Like you can like once you see where they start going to, you can predict it. But like when they're flying around, it's just random. So like leading your shots to hit them is very difficult, especially when
Oh man.
you're so
Having trouble
small.
with this last
He
bit.
But
had
it's yeah.
such a good dragon.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Yeah, they're both on dragons now. This is just as Surf finishes it, Logic is starting.
Yeah, that was a good twin dragon, but Logic can definitely. He's doing it right now. You can see Logic's doing. He's focusing the blue one first. Doesn't make a difference which one you start on as long as you focus the same one until it's gone. See, yep, got the first one down. We might just soon see Logic actually overtake Surf for the first time. They're very
be it.
close now. Like they're not just in the same level anymore. They're almost on the same egg.
Yeah, and that's going to be because of the real time difference from the reset for Surf. Is Logic could actually overtake him in terms of where he is on our screens, but that doesn't
Yeah.
mean he's ahead of him on Loadless.
He's been ahead of him Loadless the whole time, but it's just nice to see how far Logic is, how much work Logic's putting in on trying to make up the difference.
Yeah, I guess what I mean is Logic could actually finish the game before Surf.
Yeah.
But Surf's team could win
Yes.
because of the way the Loadless works.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good dragons from Logic.
Hmm.
We'll get a time check coming out of here because we want to see what that time save has done.
Oh, is he going for the end of level? Oh, he's going for it. Yeah, he got first try. All that skips is going into the cannon watching the cutscene, but it's very hard.
They're now both in the Agent 9 section at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're
One's on the
absolutely
way,
right.
one's on the way. Yeah, I think Surf is using keyboard mouse and Logic's using controller. Which in this minigame, it doesn't make as much of a difference. I still think keyboard mouse would be better. I don't know if Logic's is not comfortable or if he just prefers controller. enough that he'll eat the time loss.
Yeah, it's not always super obvious, but you definitely can see the difference.
Mm-hmm.
If we point out the left is keyboard and mouse and the right is controller, you can see it.
Yeah, just cutting some of these corners can be done a little bit easier with keyboard and mouse to save a little bit of time.
Yeah, but then you
And
just
just-
keyboard mouse, and I mean,
Some people aren't a fan.
but yeah, Surf still keeping up a really good pace here. Really, just he's making this hard on Logic to bring back.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, this is not an easy one for Logic. It was never going to be easy to have to make up time, but yeah, Surf is playing out of his
But
mind.
then Surf is playing out of his mind. Yeah.
I think Surf's definitely the MVP of this race. Like, we all knew Green was going to be consistent, and Cam's world record holder, so he's expected to take that pretty decisive win, but Surf's putting up a fight right now. Like, he's on, like, good PB pace, too. Very impressive.
Hard to disagree. So he was out of Fireworks Factory at 2:33.59.
Yep.
T-Bone, you missed it. Hammerhead didn't actually PB. He just hasn't submit. He didn't submit his other PB. He has a 2:19. He just didn't submit it because it doesn't bop.
It's still a very good effort from Hammer, but I think a
Yeah,
5-minute
good
PB in the marathon, you know,
Yeah,
kind of deserves that MVP.
but yeah, I think we've said that everyone has played out of their minds. Everyone's played really well. Everyone's run well.
Here's another one of those jumps on Surf's side that you really want to be on 34. Nice. Saw him hesitate a little bit, really try and line it up.
So it's about 12:40 now.
He's jumping up there. He's definitely gonna looks like make up more time in this late game.
Yeah,
That's still not enough, though. You know, that's
I mean, they still got a decent amount of run to go. It's
Got
almost
about
half an
30
hour.
minutes to go. Yeah.
There's still about half an hour, so he can definitely make up another 3 minutes. Like I said too, I think Logic's super bonus round is very strong for him, and I mean, either of them can really mess up super bonus round. It's very easy to make
Yeah.
mistakes there. So
Like I said, the run is definitely not over until it's over.
exactly. It's nice to see that nobody's missed the gem as far as I've seen yet.
Yeah, they've been good on that.
That might have been true for the whole relay. I'm not sure. I don't think anyone's like had to go back into a level for a gem.
yeah. I don't think we've seen any kind of major issues like that.
Yeah, that's good to see. Yeah, so they're both done with the backtracking now. Crystal, once they finished, that was a little before Crystal, Fireworks Factory. Once they finish that up, that's like the end of the backtracking segment, and they're now going to complete the Midnight Mountain home worlds they haven't started yet. So they're going through and 100% of the levels now on the only visit they're doing. And we got, including Crystal, we got 3 more full-length levels to do. And then a Speedway, and then we're on a super bonus round. We're almost to the end. Oh, here's a spot that Logic can make up a lot of time potentially on the moles. I mentioned earlier that Bobby and Logic don't do subs 2 in any percent because it's too hard. They do moles instead, and Logic is like the creator of the moles strat, so pretty good at it.
Just say Surf's trying to set up here. He's got this wizard that's gonna cause him issues.
Oh, there we go. Got a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see what Surf's trying to do is he can club the mole and against the wall, and then keep hitting the mole's body before it despawns, and you can get extra hits to count. So you can do a little faster. He's also going to leave it now 19 out of 20 so he can clean up all the gems and then finish. It's pretty solid. That was pretty solid.
Yeah, it was pretty solid moles. It's as good as you can ask for, right?
I don't know. I think Logic's gonna, if Logic gets his good RNG, it could be quite a bit faster.
It's a good plane deep skip too on Surf side.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit of cleanup to do now.
So just to be clear, 1825 was the deficit.
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 1825 is what Logic's trying to make up. So he's about 6 minutes away from where he needs to be, and he's got to find that 6 minutes in the next half hour.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all breathe a sigh of relief that this isn't going to run until midnight. Thank you, Surf, for your great pace.
Get to see the return of the key chests on Surf's side. Are those the only two in Molten Crater in this level? Oh no, there's one in what's it?
Desert Ruins.
Yes, I think those are the only three. Kind of sprinkle a few in. Oh, I didn't see. Did Logic do moles already, or is he doing the gems before moles? No, he did it already. Okay. I thought he also finished on, or I thought he also stopped on 19 out of 20 to get all the gems, but I guess not.
Yeah, I'm curious on who's comes out on top or if they kind of broke even there.
Mm. Oh, okay. The way Surf just kind of recovered, he just kind of that was an end of level skip he did in Haunted Tomb. You can jump up on that torch to jump to the end, but he kind of, I think he was trying to like hover up and then head bash. It looked like he almost messed it up, but he just got it.
Mm.
Yeah, it was the swag headbutt. It was all on purpose. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw from Logic, but he head bashed one of the gem like firework bottles, and then went to get a Sparks. So Sparks stopped. Like, so I guess they stopped auto collecting. That was a little weird.
So is there a style point for that torch jump for Surf?
Yeah, I'd give him a style point for that.
Okay.
I don't think it was on purpose, but it still deserves one.
Hope Twitch chat is keeping track of the style points.
Because we are not.
We're just giving them out.
Yeah, you can see Surf's doing this Agent 9 mini game. It's pretty simple. Where you just gotta kill all the enemies, but there's 3 rounds. There's not really any fast strat to it. You just kind of kill everything as fast as you can. Gotta use the you gotta pick up the rocks. Oh, high jump. You gotta pick up those rocks to throw it at the big guys. That's about it. Shoot everything else.
And Logic is right behind him.
Entered the mini game as egg. They're almost on the same egg, just missing each other.
But Logic is, we said this all along. This is what it's going to be. We're going to watch Logic chase him down.
He's clawing his way back.
We're going to watch him. He's hunting his prey right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is some David Attenborough stuff. Can we give runners style points just for being absolute gamers? Absolutely. Everyone except Cat.
Yes, I agree.
I've decided as a commentator, I'm allowed to be one notch less harsh than you are about your own performance, Cat. So
Go as hard as you want.
that's still a pretty high bar. Oh, Castle ran at the same time. We know this. 1:14.24. That's a good leaderboard time. That's like top 5. That is exactly top 5. If you weren't on the leaderboard, you would have bopped Lackluster.
Yeah.
Can't be mad. This weird Spyro shimming mechanic as well. I don't get on with it.
I like it. It's cute. You can see Surf's doing tanks too. Now the first tanks is pretty simple. You just kind of shoot the 4. But this tanks too, there are fast strats where you can kind of you can see the guys in the tanks in the far back, they like hide behind the pot, and they'll try and like hide away from you until you get close, but you can shoot like to the side of them and then move the opposite direction so they'll go right into the shot. You don't have to go all the way in to shoot them. Saves a good amount of time doing that.
This is a point in the level that always feels like an eternity, just carrying these rocks slowly through the level.
Yeah, you just kind of have to wait for these enemies to throw a bunch of them down so you can keep breaking stuff because you need a bunch. Like, you see Surf's gonna go around and shoot that tomb and then pick up another one to break this guy. It's like, oh, maybe not.
Oh,
Just got stuck in the wall, I guess. You can see, especially on this guy coming up, he's gonna have to like sit there and just wait for him to throw out like 3 or 4 rocks so he can break everything in that room. There's no way to speed it up. You just need them.
we'll see if Logic on the right can match Surf's tanks.
I think Logic might even do some like more precise shots or risky shots compared to Surf because this isn't the any percent route, so you really want to do it fast in a category like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you see Logic with those shots, how he oh, he missed the last one, but you can see he shoots like right next to the pot and then goes the other way, so the guy runs straight into it. I know Logic does that on controller. I don't know if Surf did or not. I couldn't tell, but yeah, that I think a lot of people prefer keyboard mouse on that instead.
All right, we're starting to close into the end here. If Logic's gonna bring it back, he's running out of time to do it.
Going into our we're going into our last level on Surf side, like the last normal level. And then we have a Speedway and super bonus round. So
Can I get a jumpin' Jehoshaphat for Dino Mines?
I don't think Cam has the FFZ emote. Does he? No. A little note in Dino Mines: there's gems hidden inside the cacti, and they're all dead gems, like we mentioned before. Where Sparks just doesn't collect them, so you have to like wait for them to break and then jump into them and then keep going. It's a little annoying.
I think Logic just had that guy throw one of the rocks off the level, and he missed one of the tombs. That's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, having to sit there and wait for him to break or throw another rock and take a bit. I think he's just about done. Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
32:18.
close.
That's 13 minutes and 5 seconds.
So he's still got to make
He's
about
gaining,
4 or
but-
5 minutes, right?
He's gaining,
Still,
but I
yeah.
don't know if he's gonna have
It's
enough
nearly
time.
5.5 minutes still. Yeah, I think Logic's gonna run out of time at this point.
Yeah, I think
Didn't
barring
you say
Surf,
that, but, like, we last checked like 10 minutes ago, and he made up 30 seconds. So
yeah. I mean, barring Surf making a big mistake, I don't think there's 5 minutes to catch up on.
In 20 minutes of run, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be insane. But you never know. We'll see. We keep
I
talking
mean,
about
like-
the bonus round, but I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah. There's always the chance that one of them missed the gem and didn't realize it, and they'll have to go back and get it before going in the super bonus round. You know,
Yeah.
we'll
it
find
seems
out.
unlikely though, because
I've
like
forgotten the whole egg before.
every time we've seen their guidebooks, they've looked pretty complete.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, we keep talking about possibly missing a gem, but like missing a gem in like the super bonus run skateboarding section, I mean that might be the most devastating of them all.
I still think even that isn't enough to give the lead over at this point.
Like we said, we've not seen anyone miss a gem or do anything that kind of catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we saw Surf just miss
Well,
that over there.
Okay.
Okay, recovered it.
Very good.
yeah, that was fine.
Another auto scroller. Kind of. You can speed it up slightly by making sure you kill the last dinosaur in each like position as fast as possible. But other than that, you're just waiting for Agent 9 to crawl to the next position. I don't know why he's so slow.
Oh, he better get that skill point.
I love Time Crisis.
I'm gonna be mad if runners don't get skill point.
Don't
You
get
guys
the
ever play
bonus.
Time Crisis?
I know.
This reminds me
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
really does. Except slower, I think, than Time Crisis.
It's so slow.
I've said this to a bunch of people. I think we should make all skill points categories.
All achievements.
Some of the achievements are pretty hilarious.
Some of them are stupid too.
Yeah. Some of them are just dumb names. Like I was playing SRT2 through. It's the first time I played it on Steam. I played it on console a bunch. And when you steal a popcorn from Hunter, you get an achievement called Ganked.
Yeah, you can see they're on the same egg now. I think Logic's gonna, or he should overtake Surf, like in our on the stream. But and he's been ahead, like we said, he's been ahead by a lot, Loadless the whole time. But I don't think he's winning.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be enough.
Maybe that's our next run. Skill point relay.
Switch
You
off
guys
every skill point.
You guys have fun with that.
You're doing 3. SRT3 all skill points.
I'm gonna take Enter the Dragonfly.
Yeah, Surf's finished with the auto scroller part, but he's still got to run around and pick up the gems from this area. So Ned Kidden back here he's gonna get.
Both runners got the skill point. I'm satisfied.
It's not been an entirely wasted evening.
Yeah, you can see like the super sparks, especially like Agent 9. Like you don't even have to you have
Yeah.
to shoot the barrels, you don't have to duck into the corners, you just walk past it and he gets it all for you. Pretty nice.
He was probably a little just shaken up over a lot of them. I'm surprised Surf didn't get like that cactus and stuff when he fell the first time.
Yeah.
Just as he was running past it to go back, just flame it or something. Well, it would probably the cactus would respawn when you come out.
Oh, struggling with this
Probably
one right here.
quality. Yeah.
There we go.
Not too bad.
This really is so close and so tense. Seeing Logic running after him.
I honestly thought that Logic would have overtaken Surf a long time ago, but Surf's just playing so well. Again, it's not even Logic playing bad, it's just they're both playing so well.
Hey, I might get my call back. Both runners in Harbor Speedway race at the same time.
That is true, actually. I think they're definitely on pace too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna be doing the race at the same time, but
Logic
Yeah,
also
Logic's
gonna have a
struggling.
little trouble with this.
Oh.
All right. Oh wow.
They both really struggle with that, and I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit fatigue.
That is a
That dro-
tough wall glide to hit.
Yeah, it's a little. It is annoying.
And you're also
both
it's
fail.
not it's tough to hit, and you're also hitting it 2 hours 40 into the run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The hands are sore. The brain's melted.
All right, so we should see Surf going into the Speedway at 14,600, I believe, if he hasn't missed anything. Or no, he's gonna. There's a couple gems over on the super bonus round platform, right?
Yep. Yep.
No, wait, they got them all. So that should be 14,600. Yep. Okay. Yep, not missing anything. So we know on Surf's side he's good, unless he missed an egg somewhere, which I don't think he did.
And we know from the past, speedways are Surf specialty, so this is not a spot for him to lose time.
Yeah, you might even gain time on this split.
Yeah, this is where you back him in, right? On a speedway.
Oh, he did. I think he did just miss a bird there, though.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised he didn't go get that bird.
Do you think he noticed?
Does he have a route for it?
I'm sure he noticed. He just there's got to
Yeah.
be a better time for it.
That was a very confident pass by that bird.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh, no.
Oh no! This is commentator's curse, isn't it?
I shouldn't have said anything.
We just talked about how good he was at flight levels.
Oh no! The Speedway god is faltering. And we should see Logic also getting 16,000. Yep. Okay. So they're neither of them have missed the gem.
That was a rough Harbor Speedway by Surf.
Yeah.
It's not done yet.
I think he's trying to go for no.
He's trying to get around to get that last thing.
I think he was trying to stall to get animation canceled. But
Yeah, I don't think that
was.
was worth what he just read. That
No.
Yeah, that's.
that was a potential couple minute time loss for like a 3-second time save.
Yeah.
I think this late in the game, that was not worth going for.
And he didn't fall in the water, so we're at least okay.
Oh, I was so scared.
Oh, I think Logic's doing a different route for this than
Mm-hmm.
there was. Yeah, he left this bird intentionally and went out of his way for one in the other place. And then I think he also left that last clamfish lineup for the he's gonna get the animation cancel there. Much cleaner.
That was really clean, yeah. I didn't see what time Surf got at the end of his, but that definitely was way faster.
I think it's safe to say Logic. It was a little bit quicker.
Safe assumption.
Because we have eyes, we know it was faster.
Yes.
And they're on the same challenge right now.
Oh, it always scares me to see them stay so close to this UFO.
T-Bone said 12 seconds, so yeah. A little bit of a time loss there from Surf. Yeah, they're on the same egg challenge like they're at. They've been on the same challenge before, but not for more than like a second or two. So this is the first time you can see they're actually getting there.
And not on a challenge this short as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go blue-footed boobies.
Well, you called it. You said they'd be on the race at the same time.
We're here.
Didn't think they'd be on the egg challenge before it at the same time.
I mean, if we didn't have that 5-minute delay, however long it was at the start,
It
this
would
would
be
be
way different.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't affect the time of the race, but yes, I think you're right. Logic would be ahead by now, like on screen.
No, Surf would be way farther ahead.
Surf
is what
would
we're
be
saying.
way
I'm sorry, yeah, Surf would be way further ahead. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Surf knew.
It wouldn't be
for
this close.
content.
It was worth the delay.
It's funny that Surf did that because I out of habit split on the Peacekeepers Balloonist in my run, and I was like panic trying to undo the split because the color wasn't changing, so I wasn't even sure if it's split or not. I was trying to figure it out before the balloon loaded, and then I saw the timer tick when I got the Magic Craft. I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, so you can now see on the screen that Surf is 40 seconds ahead of where Logic is in the game.
Yeah. And they both seem to be doing about just as good as each other on this race, so
Yeah, it
Don't
looks
think-
very clean.
unless someone misses a ring or goes into the water, I don't think there's going to be any significant time save or loss on this race. I do think Logic will be able to overtake Surf by the end, though. I think he's close enough that in Super Bonus Round he could do it.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be really close, actually, though.
And
Much
you'll get-
closer than we were anticipating, for sure.
You've got a style point for that.
Yeah. Just handing out these style points like they're candy.
They are.
It's SRT. But the game doesn't work and the points don't matter.
Yeah, you can see right now, like, we don't even need to do a time check. You can pretty much see that they're almost in the same spot. We said Surf's like 40 seconds ahead, but on the Loadless timer, Logic's 14 and a half ahead, I think it is. If my math's right.
Yeah, about that. 14 and a half.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
here we are, coming to the end. Surf possibly gonna get a fat PB here.
Logic is pretty much about 14 minutes ahead. And that's going to be not quite enough, but you know, a monumental effort to come back. This was always going to be the hard sledding.
Surf's PB is 3:04:15 entering Super Bonus Round, so very far ahead.
Big PB.
Insane performance.
Yeah, so a 5-6 minute PB.
Mm-hmm. Depending on how well this goes, yep.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna see Surf. He's going around. There's if you've played this before, you see there's a bunch of kind of like separate mini games or like areas that you need gem requirements to get into. And this is supposed to be the last one, but you're able to get around it and get the fireball and fly power up, which lets you take out the UFOs like you're supposed to, but then also use it to get the thieves and stuff, which much faster than chasing them around.
Sure. Seems good.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, he's missing the thief now, but you're not really supposed to chase them. You're just kind of supposed to shoot them as you go. Yeah, so he stopped and aimed that one. Yeah, I think you're gonna see Logic is gonna go around the back to get on top of the waterfall. Yeah. Logic does like a damage boost. I didn't know you could do it the way Surf just did.
I didn't either, and I really like it.
I did too.
Losing your sparks to that damage abuse really sucks.
Yeah.
I think Logic's going to watch this back and he's going to adopt that as well. Maybe he knows about it already and just isn't as consistent with it.
Maybe. I don't think so though. Cam
That's
said he
something
didn't know about any of this.
That's something we saw early on with this run. We were talking about we were talking about it right at the beginning of SRT1, where you and Green Soul were taking different routes in Artisans. You know, this is a game that still feels so far away from being solved.
Well, we were actually talking about that, me and Randy, during the Spyro 2 race. That actually, we know like that doesn't make a difference because of the way the guide booking works. You can do either order and it doesn't matter, doesn't lose or save any time. I did think it was weird that it's funny they just did start with that though. He wanted to be special. But yeah, you can see like Logic might be able to overtake him just based on how well he does subs, or like the race after this. It's gonna be they might finish at like the same time.
Yeah.
Pretty good subs there. We'll see how Logic's goes.
Going, I think
looks like he's going hard.
I think everything's on cycle as long as it's. Oh, he just missed the last one. But he's gonna be able to walk on and get it. Yeah, that was
incredible.
That was almost perfect.
Yeah.
But this is the moment we've all been waiting for: the skateboarding. This is where it all goes downhill. This is where they stopped making the game.
I'm just waiting for the day we see IL strats in this race. That's what I want to see.
That would be so insane. I'd love it.
If you guys haven't seen, you can turn the skateboard like upside down and on an angle, and the game will try and turn you over to correct it, but at the same time, it'll just give you a insane amount of speed. I think the IL record for this course is something around like 40 seconds. Jeez.
Like,
you can see that
put it.
It might. Yeah, they just both finished the first lap around 40 something seconds. So.
Yeah, I mean, to put in perspective, the person who's done ILs for this said using the boost is slow. You don't use the boost. The boost is slow.
Oh, I take it back. The IL record's 37 seconds, so he beat the race in the time it took them to do one lap.
So their timer difference is about 13 seconds right now, compared to
Yeah.
40 seconds when they were in that last speedway.
Yeah, I think Surf missing one of the T's and having to like chase it down actually lost a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
And
Just
also
what-
just like cleaner UFOs from Logic.
As we're coming to the end here, I want to give a shout out to all the runners who are, a lot of them are watching the Twitch chat. If you guys, if the winning team want to jump in the call when we finish, we can have a chat about it. I don't know if that means you'll get to stay or not, Kat. We'll see.
That hurts my feelings.
It's your fact.
No,
We'll see
you
if he wins
joined
or
the
not.
other team, didn't you?
Yeah, I joined the red team. I'm on their team.
See, and you guys didn't have faith in Team Donut at the start.
Yeah, you can see Logic's only about, I think it's like 10 seconds behind, so it's gonna come down to just who can do the sorcerer's fight better.
This gem chest is ridiculous.
I know.
In real time, they like almost could finish at the same time. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Logic's
In a
about
6.5 hour run.
Logic's about 15 seconds behind right now. So I think Surf's just barely gonna pull out the win unless he really goofs up this sorcerer's fight.
Yeah, the gap has got to about 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both on the sorcerer's fight at the same time.
And there it is. Time for Surf. 3:04:17. The Madman just pulling out a 5-minute PB for the relay.
3:04:17.
So it looks like that's 6:21:30 for Team Donut.
And 2:49:54 for Logic. It's 14 and a half minutes. Logic finishes ahead of Surf, but it's 4 minutes short of where Team Caboose needed it to be. Team Donut are your winners